Hello, future investors. Welcome back to a Sunday live stream. Hope you're all doing well. We've already got two people in the live stream. I am joined by the one, the only, the amazing Stack Collector. How are you doing, mate?
I'm very good, thank you very much, buddy, and I'm very happy to be here. How are you today, mate? You had a good weekend?
Not bad, mate. Thank you. I'm glad to have you here. A bit late today, aren't I, on the old live stream? I did plan for 7 p.m., but didn't go quite to plan. But sometimes I guess that happens with these live streams. Hence why live streams, even on TV, sometimes they don't go to plan, do they? But other than that, everything's good. So yeah, how's your weekend been?
Yeah, it's been good. I just want to say a very quick hello to Cobra Stacker, who's been waiting for us in the live chat. He said hello, people, and hey. So, hey, Cobra, how you doing, buddy? It's really good to have you here, mate.
Yeah, hey Cobra, thanks for joining in the live stream so quickly, mate. Appreciate that. Great to have you here. Thanks for liking the live. Oh, 4 likes on the live stream already. Amazing stuff. I've got to say, I love your Future Investments cup you've got in the background there, mate. Thanks for repping that. It's great to see it being used.
Yeah, it does get used very regularly. My Future Investments mug. I alternate between my Cabbage Spider 365 mug and the Make It Happen Future Investments mug. So yeah.
I love the. Ever since 365 created cabbage spider and pickled carrot, I never let him live it down. And every now and then, I'll just send him a cheeky message with a pickled carrot or a cabbage spider. Can't help
Yeah,
myself.
definitely. I'm a big fan of the Cabbage Spider myself.
I like to see all your silver bars in the background there. They're looking pretty tasty, mate. I've got to say, your silver bullion collections definitely increased over the last couple of months.
No, it absolutely has. To think I didn't own any silver bullion until January this year, so it's definitely started growing a bit now. But yeah, I think I'm going to try and pick up a few more bullion going forward. I've picked up a lot of proof so far this year, and that's had a lot of my money. So hopefully going forward, I'll be getting less proofs and more bullion.
Yeah, I can't believe that you haven't. Your first piece of silver bullion was in January. I don't know why, but I feel like that's. I feel like for some reason you would have already had some well before then. But you're the numismatic man, aren't you? So it does make sense. But I personally love seeing your bullion stack increase. So yeah, really cool to see. I think we're both a massive fan of the dragon bars right now. I've got a bit of a thing for them, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see yours right there, and I know you picked a couple up recently, and it was you who got me onto the Dragon Bars in one of our lives, wasn't it? Previously.
Was it really?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because I'd never seen them before, and you brought them up, and I had to give them a look up afterwards, and I just fell in love with them straight away. And since then, Backyard Bullion had a couple up for sale. And I had to grab one from there. That was with 2019, and I've just picked up all the rest from Cobra Stacker recently, who's just put in the comments. 2020s are here soon, boys. So that's awesome news, Cobra. Thank you so much for that, mate.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, you're right. My first silver bar with a dragon on was from Cobra, same as I think yourself. And um, really cool that the first piece I've really wanted for a long time I got from another YouTuber. It makes it kind of special. So yeah, definitely be looking forward to picking up some more pieces from Cobra. He's really sorting us out there with some wicked pieces, and to be fair, at a very good price, I must say as well. So, like I said in a previous video of mine, I even said to him, add a bit of a premium on. I don't want you to I don't want you to do me a favor, and he was like, no, um, I'm not going to do that. So very genuine guy. Really genuine guy. And I see that in his YouTube channel. You can see how fast the community for Cobra has grown. He's almost come out of nowhere, and a bit like 365 did, and then this sort of backing behind him has just got so strong, and I can really see it getting even bigger. Hi Lee, welcome to the live stream, mate.
Absolutely, Haley. Great to have you here, mate. Yeah, no, and speaking about great silver from Cobra, we can't go on any further really without addressing the amazing auction that he had recently. I know you weren't there until the end, but I caught it from the beginning, and I've got to say just how much fun it was. It was absolutely amazing.
Oh mate, I was gutted that I missed part of it, but I did catch up on. I must admit I've only rewatched half so far, but I tend to put it on when I'm cooking, and amazing. I couldn't believe how well it went for a very first live YouTube stream auction. You know, these things are always a great idea in hindsight, but putting them into practice, I mean, you can probably only remember ourselves how our very first videos pre-recorded and then live streams went. You know, I
Yeah.
think we started pretty well. We've done quite well, but you know, just looked like tonight we had a few issues before going live, and I was running late. So for a live auction to go as well as it did that quickly, I think it's very, very impressive, and I think that's going to be something that's going to become quite big and popular going forward.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I will say it wasn't completely smooth running. It was they did definitely have a few hitches. Cobra's signal went a few times, and you know, it's with all live. They can have a few problems, but other than that, it did go exceedingly well. And yeah, I was just holding it up to the camera, but I was lucky enough to get a look at that. Look how beautiful that is. That was my lucky winnings from the Cobra auction, the 2022 Cobra coin, Cobra coin. It's the 2022 Cobra, and yeah, what an absolutely amazing chance to get it. And I was so lucky on it. It was I think it was because it was quite late on in the auction. But yeah, I got it for an amazing price. I was actually quite shocked how low I was able to pick that up for. But there were some absolutely beautiful pieces. I really wanted the Libertad that he had up for the first auction.
Yeah, yeah. I remember watching it, and you were the first one pretty much on the bat to put a bid in on the very first piece, and it was really exciting to watch. You know, to be sitting there in the background and obviously knowing you as a friend and seeing you
Yeah.
bid on it. It was kind of cool. You know, I was going like rooting for you, like, come on, Stack Collector, come on, come on. And then I can't remember who it was. It nearly went. Cobra went second time calling, and then someone came in with another bid, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It was really good.
It was no, it was. It was so. Honestly, joking aside, it was the most excitement I've had in a long time. And I swing around in a tree with a chainsaw for a living. You know, so yeah, no, it was brilliant. And I've got big news,
Oh,
because the next Cobra auction, which is happening, I do believe next
next
Sunday,
Sunday.
which will be the 3rd of September, he's got a different guest star, and it's going to be
Oh.
yours truly next time. So yes, look forward to seeing me at the next Cobra auction.
Oh, I like it. I mean, it was great for CPM. I love the way that he wrote down, you know, the bidders, how much they won it for, and their names. So it made it a lot easier for Cobra, who doesn't have to traipse back through the video to figure that out. So doing a two-man live auction as a team, I think, is the way forward. So knowing that you'll be in it next Sunday is awesome, because I'm hoping that Cobra might feel generous and stick another Silver Dragon bar in there, because I'll be gunning for that one. The question is, will you be partaking in the auction as well, even though you're in the live? I mean, I think you can. I don't think it's like insider trading. I think, why not?
Yeah.
You can type while being on a live stream or something. You know, place your bid on any item. I think that'd be cool. But what's your thoughts? Are you going to bid as
Yeah,
well?
no,
Or
I agree with you. And CPM bidded on a few items on the last auction, and it's exactly the same. It's not insider trading. I mean, it's his money. If he wants to bid on an item, he's got as much chance of winning it as anyone else. Whoever wants to, put the highest bid in. So, yeah, there's a very good chance I may well have a little punt on one of two of the items, because Cobra does have some absolutely stunning pieces. So yeah, I think Cobra's just confirmed that yes, you can bid as well, bro. So yeah, no, and seriously, I don't think anyone would have a problem with that. It's not, it's just bidding like anybody else would, the
yeah.
Cobra's items that he's selling. So yeah, I probably will, and look forward to having a little bit, because again, it was a lot of fun to take part in.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to just read some comments, but I'd definitely like to come back to this topic because there's a lot more to be spoken about by it. But going into just some of the comments, Lee put good day, and Cobra put I'm blushing. Um, Silas Salman, one of the channel members here on Future Investments, same as yourself, the Stack Collector, said, "Hello, gents. Hi, Si. Welcome. I appreciate your support as always. It means a lot." Gary Crawford, another viewer of the channel, says, "Hi, all." And Cobra said, It was brilliant for a trial. Can't wait for the big net one next Sunday." Yeah, I think we're all very excited for that. He's setting the alarms. Cobra said, "Edge of the seat stuff." Absolutely. And he said, "What year do you want me to put in future investments?" And yeah, like you've already read out, he said, of course, a Stack Collector can bid as well. I'm completely open. I wouldn't mind having another 2023 or another 2022. But I wouldn't mind having a 2018 or 2019 or even 2020. So surprise me, mate. Whatever you're willing, because at the end of the day, it's your stuff, your bullion. Whatever you decide you want to set up for the auction, I'll be more than happy to bid on. I was going to say, after I briefly just read through the comments, that I wanted to go back to the live stream. Cobra said, "Done." Thanks, mate. That if it was me buying bullion, for example, say I bought a tube of Dragon Bars like Cobra has, there's probably no way that I'd want to part with any of them, because I'd have them and own them, and I'd be like, brilliant, that's part of the investment stack for wealth preservation, be it silver or gold. I couldn't then part with them because because I bought them for the benefit of being an investment for wealth preservation. So the fact that Cobra's gone out and bought these pieces for himself, and then only after the fact he's kind of gone, "I'm going to auction some of these away. Why not?" Shows how generous he is, because I would probably be a bit selfish and be like, "No, I bought these. I want to keep them." But he's bought all of these amazing pieces. And what gets me is he's like, "Yeah, I'll sell some of them. I won't even sell them with a premium. I'll just, sell them at a really fair price." Like, I mean, fair play from Cobra for that.
Yeah, no, he's a top bloke. Cobra is a top bloke, and he is, he likes doing things for people. It's the kind of person he is. He's just a decent, generous kind of guy. I've spoken to him quite a lot now off of YouTube, and as well as on YouTube on the lives, and yeah, I can definitely say he is a really nice guy, and it's a great thing he's doing with all the things he's been doing with his channel recently. And like you said, it's kind of although he's been around for a little while now, it's very recent. It's kind of come out of nowhere, and it's like he's stepped his game up a little bit. Like since he set up his new Cobra's Den, I think that's really given him a lot of motivation to come up with a lot of new ideas with his channel, which is it's absolutely amazing. It's a brilliant channel, and if anyone hasn't checked it out, definitely get over there.
Yeah, we definitely have to add Cobra's channel in the description of this live stream, because talking about him so much and the auctions, people might want to find his channel if they haven't already. So I'll definitely add his channel in the description along with yourself as always.
That's brilliant.
I think one of the big things that grew Cobra's channel is when he gave the 1 ounce Cobra coin that I've got here to a lot of YouTubers. It was such a generous thing, such a custom piece. I feel like when YouTubers do go to that length and effort, not only is it a generous thing, but it's a kind of business savvy way of growing your channel and getting publicity. There's no shame in admitting that, because you do sometimes, as a YouTube content creator, have to almost treat it a bit like a business. So I feel like when he gave out those custom Cobra coins, that was another big factor to helping the publicity and growth of his channel.
I absolutely agree with you, but knowing Cobra as well as I do now, having spoken to him, I think that was just coincidental. I don't think he did it to grow his channel in any way. I think he was genuinely just doing it to be generous and just wanted to spread a bit of love out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing his character, and a prime example of that is, I broke my 1 kilogram coin, the capsule. I had that whole palaver of trying to get a new one, waiting for one on back order. It turned up, it was the wrong size. I still filmed the video. You could probably tell I was a bit deflated about it all. Well, I got a message from Cobra the next day saying, "Hi, bro, can you give me a call?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll find out what Cobra wants to chat about." And he was like, "Listen, mate, I've got a capsule, a 1 kilo coin capsule. Would you like me to send it to you?" And I was like, "Yes, please. How much do you want for it?" And he's like, "Nothing. It's just a gift." I mean,
Yeah.
so that goes back to his character, doesn't it? Case
Yeah.
in point.
Exactly. No, exactly. You know, he is a top chap, and he's done a lot of things, and even just you know, like you said earlier, selling the silver on and not even putting a premium on it, just you know, wanting to get some nice pieces out there to people. It's a genuinely nice thing for him to have done.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, talking about investments in Cobra and that, going back to investment side of it, obviously earlier I mentioned that you know silver for me is a wealth preservation device. Um,
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on silver at the moment? I know like you said, you bought your first pieces of silver in January. Are you, are you, I know you look at it probably, if I'm going to assume here that you look at it as a bit more of a collector's thing. But do you see the benefits of it being you know, a wealth preservation device, dare I say, even a bit of an investment, or do you kind of block that out mentally and just stack them because you like them?
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely wanted to discuss silver. There's a couple of other things that are just happening recently with silver I wanted to discuss. But yeah, I think to me, it's very interesting. As an investment, I don't think silver is the best investment. Well, for me, if you know, cards on the table, where it comes down to it, where silver's really good, and I know 365 Days of Silver is mentioned this a lot on his channel. Cobra's also said this himself, and a few other people agree. Where silver's really good, and I make a joke of it by saying silver's a great hedge against my own spending. Like if you're the kind of person that you know money burns a hole in your pocket, and you know you like to go out and buy things with your cash, that's the perfect person to buy silver, because you know you're quenching that thirst for wanting to go out and spend things, but you're actually buying a different sort of money with your money. So your money's not going anywhere. You've got something that you can cash in at some point. As far as investments go, I don't think it's you know it's the best investment. It's definitely a long-term investment. You know, I don't think personally that silver's you know going to shoot the moon from where it is right now. I think if anything, you'll see a gradual increase in the price in silver alongside inflation.
Yeah.
That all depends on what happens, you know, with in the industry and in the market, and with environmental changes around it. But yeah, I think as far as silver goes, investment terms, it's definitely long term. You shouldn't be looking at silver as a short term, you know, get quick rich scheme in any way, shape, or form. And you know, like me, I'm the kind of person I like. You know, I like to buy things, and when I'm buying silver, it's you know, I love collecting coins. You know, when you say obviously I owned silver coins before January. So January was my first ever bullion purchase, which was the 2021 Robin Hood from the Myths and Legends series. That was the first ever bullion coin I ever bought. I obviously own crowns, silver crowns and silver half crowns, florins and all that kind of thing way before that. I just never really got into the bullion side of things until recently. So yeah, I will, like you say, always carry on regardless, because you know, I'm a collector, and you know, I love having it. It doesn't matter what happens to the price of silver. I'm always going to look to increase, you know, my collection more and more. At least for the time being. Anyway, what's your opinions on it, mate? How would you say silver
Yeah,
holds?
I love your comments on that, because we are so alike yet also so different. I think you know a lot of people like 365 have said the reason why our live stream always seems to go so well is because our opposites complement each other. You know, you're a numismatic collector. I'm a bit more of really just a stacker for weight value.
Yeah,
So your comments on the silver really do resonate with me. Um, I I agree with you in terms of, you know, silver's definitely not the best precious metal investment out there. You know, it's got to be gold.
yeah,
But I do really like silver as a potential um, investment upside. Let me give you an example. I feel like gold is a really strong safe haven asset to preserve your wealth. But I feel
yeah,
like silver is a lot more volatile. The price history of it has been had a lot more fluctuations. The graph of its increase has not been anywhere near the same as gold's.
mm,
However, I think every person who invests at least should I say, seasoned investors who feel like they've got enough experience in a particular topic, I feel like I will comfortably say that my personal thoughts is that I believe in silver as an investment potential. Now, the reason for that is I think it's criminally undervalued. The reasons I say that is because it's a very, very widely used industrial metal. You know, for example, battery electric cars, it's used in the batteries, terminals, it's used in medicine, healthcare, healings, solar panels. You know, and as we know, the world is going for that massive electrical push. Um, and we know that silver is a non-renewable resource. You see a lot of news articles come out about mines going, 13 kilometers deep just to find silver. And it's like anything. I think when there's a huge demand for a asset or a commodity, when there is a huge demand, but not enough of the actual commodity itself, the price gets driven up. But when there's not a lot of demand and there is a lot of stock, the price goes down. An example of that might be a rare car. If somebody wants a old Aston Martin that they don't make anymore and a lot of them have been crashed, then and they're in demand, that would probably push the price up. But if you look at, say, a Ford Fiesta ST, there's thousands and thousands of them everywhere. They might still be a nice car, but because there is so many, the demand is easily matched by the quantity. The price stays relatively low. I think that that's the case with silver, but it's underrated right now. And I feel like when it becomes harder to source, I think there is a good reason to expect the price to go up in the next decade or two. Now, having said that, I'm not saying it's the best investment. I just think that's what I believe. So I'm investing, a few £1,000 in silver, but my long-term goal will be gold as a wealth preservation device. I don't see silver as a wealth preservation device. I see it as a little bit more of a risk and maybe a bit more fun, as it's got potential there that's in the unknown. So, like I say, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I could be wrong, but that's my thoughts on what may happen to silver, and that's why I'm stacking, a few £1,000 worth.
Yeah, I think we can both pretty much say that we agree in a nutshell that silver's not the best investment out there, but you're not wasting your money if you're buying it.
Yeah.
It's not the worst investment either. It's not going to. I can't see it ever tanking back down to $2, £2 an ounce kind of days. You know what I mean? I think those times are behind us now. I think personally, I think it's riding a little low. I think I can see silver dropping going forward. Have you seen about this the 8 million ounces that JP Morgan Chase have set to delivery?
I definitely haven't heard anything about that. Could you explain a bit more?
Yeah, so JP Morgan Chase. I just want to give a big shout out to the Cranky Stacker, because he's the guy who brought this to my attention, and I just wanted to bring it up with you. And basically, what's happening? JP Morgan Chase, the bank run by JP Morgan, they've set 8 million ounces to delivery. Basically, what that means is it's gone from the systems being like vaulted, but to basically it's going to go out onto the market. So it's going to get they're basically selling 8 million ounces of silver. So it was about to be 8 million ounces of silver flood the market from one area. And I was just wondering what's your opinion on that? Because obviously I think that's going to have a little effect on the price of silver, and it will make it drop a little bit going forwards for a little while at least.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm surprised I haven't heard about that, because I do often check the business financial news on my phone. I've got one of those news apps, the Apple News app, and I constantly go on the business. So I didn't see that. Well, my knowledge on it is limited. It's only by what you tell me. But if it's that vast of an amount, yeah, it could definitely have an effect on silver. I don't think anything detrimental from what you've said. It's interesting that you did say you think silver price may go down. Is that correlating to the JP Morgan thing, or?
Yes, exactly. Because like you say, with supply and demand, if there's a lot more supply. If the supply goes up, you know, the demand comes down slightly, so it will affect the price in that respect. I mean, you know, full disclosure, this has come to my attention by Cranky Stacker, and I think it originally came from a video by the Salivate Metal channel. So you know, this is what I, you know, but also put into perspective, you're talking about JP Morgan Chase here selling 8 million ounces of silver. That is literally nothing. Their portfolio of silver alone is something like 600 million ounces, so you're looking at just over 1%. It's like 1 point. They're basically reducing their holdings of silver by 1.2%, something like that. You know, that's just doing the math quickly on my head. But so I don't see it as a massive thing. It's, you know, on the grander scale of things, it's, you know, they've obviously still see a lot of potential in silver. We've still, you know, even if they sell 8 million ounces, we've still got 592 million ounces left. So you know, I don't think it's anything too much to worry about.
Yeah, I love your thoughts on that. The real question, I suppose, is why are they selling, you know, 1% or so of their silver? What's their reasons for suddenly dumping that much out of their stack? You know, it'd be the equivalent of maybe someone like, you know, Cobra, who's got a massive silver stack, far more than what we've both got, suddenly going, you know, I'm going to get rid of 1% of it. What did they elaborate on their reasons for liquidating some of it?
I mean, it's the equivalent of a guy with £1,000 in the S&P 500 selling 10 quid worth of shares.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing, I suppose, to them, is it?
Exactly. So you know, I mean, and these people, you know, these people, they, like all traders, they you know, they'll sell some off of one asset to buy another asset to move the funds around. You know, they may see another asset has more. We might see silver as having potential, but something comes along that's got more potential. You take a little bit of money off of that and you put it on that, and you see how it goes. So you know, the why I'm not, and you know, I'm not too concerned, because same as I say, it is a small percentage of JP Morgan Chase holdings. They as I say, it's believed they've accumulated 600 million ounces. I mean, I don't think the exact figures out there, but yeah, they've definitely been buying up all the silver for a few years now.
When you hear of the number 600 million ounces, I feel like that makes all of us precious metal stackers here on YouTube feel like, you know, a needle in a haystack. That is an obscene amount of silver. You know, and then there's us lot squabbling over a 1 ounce silver dragon bar on an auction. You know, it makes you chuckle, really.
Yeah, no, it does. But yeah, so you've got to look at the bigger picture. And 8 million ounces, it sounds a lot, but when you take into context of what their actual holdings is in silver alone, and this is JP Morgan, so they've got holdings in lots of assets. So yeah, it's in the grander scale of things, it is a tiny amount. It will bring a lot of silver on the market, which may cause the price to come down for a little while. You know, there's talk about price manipulation, and I think, you know, when you've got big players like JP Morgan, you know, BlackRock, people like that, they are big enough to actually be able to manipulate the market, and that is, you know, that is a concern. So you know, there is always a concern to that, but I don't think it will have too much of an effect for too long. And you know, I like you said earlier, I think silver is it's got legs, and we're going to be going you know, it's going to be going up over the next 10 years or so.
Yeah, a thing that you said earlier, which I really liked, and I know 365 has said it before, is you know, for some people who struggle holding on to fiat capital, their cash, silver, you know, just talking about silver, not gold, you know, it's all things aside, it's a great form of savings, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
like you said, it's, you know, good or bad, high or low, where the future lies, who knows? But at least I'm not spending it on something completely worthless. I am putting my money into something.
yeah, absolutely. You know, if you know, a night out or a few ounces of silver, well, you know, which one's going to last you longer?
Exactly. Yeah,
Exactly. I was just laughing then, because we've had a few comments. We'll have to go through some, but I've just seen Cobra Stack responded to what you just said by saying 600 mil. That's nothing.
Yeah. Does he mean for himself?
Yeah. Yeah. And then Simon Salman's come in with one of his legends, and he says, legend has it that Cobra Stacker has 999 fine silver fluffy dice in his Ford Capri. I love it. I love it. I've got to say very quickly, you've got to love a fluffy dice.
Oh my god. Love that. I think Cobra Stacker, seeing his full precious metals stack, I think he's actually JP and Morgan. I think he probably is the one of the silent partners of them.
Yeah. I think I actually, having seen Cobra Stacker besides of him, I think he is the actual Black Rock.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah,
He's probably done work. He's probably bodyguarded the Rock. Knowing his line of work.
Yeah, no, I've got some revenge to be planning against Cobra Stacker, by the way.
Yeah, I heard something about this, but I haven't yet watched the video. Do you want to enlighten me and everyone else to?
No. Anyone, I was just said like my house off, BlackRock. If anybody hasn't seen the latest Cobra Stacker, he's actually, you know what? The guy's revealed my face without asking my permission. I can't believe he's gone and done that.
You are joking.
No. Well, what he's done, he's got a little Gollum statue, and he's got it out topping some silver, and he says it's the Stack Collector's face reveal. So yes, apparently I am Gollum, and the only thing I can say to that Cobra Stacker is my precious. My precious.
That's brilliant. I can't wait to watch that. Is that the one where his thumbnail is the masks?
Sorry, the masks. I love his Stacker masks. I think they're so cool.
I've not watched that yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing that. But I love the Star Wars coaster there, mate. Got to big up the R2D2 and C3PO.
There you go.
Don't get me started on Star Wars, bloody hell. I'm just going to go back to some of the comments because I want to acknowledge the guys who are watching it. We're having such a good chat that it's flown by, and we've got all these comments. So I'm gonna run through them all quickly because otherwise we'll be here all night. Just GNF Metals saying hello to everyone. Lee said, I'm in love with Cobra Silver. I think we all are. I think that's why most of us are trying to buy it from him.
I've got a good chunk of it.
Sorry, mate.
I'm saying I've got a good chunk of it now.
There you go. Yeah, we're slowly starting to sieve it away from Cobra. Soon here, I have to start another YouTube channel because he won't have anything left. Going on to back to some of the comments. Abdul Aslam, thanks for joining the live stream. Not seen you here before, so I appreciate your comment. He said the only reason why I don't like silver is because of paying VAT. It eats into the profits. I prefer gold. Yeah, I think we all can agree with you on that one, Abdul. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but some of us choose to swallow it irregardless. We just kind of mentally blank that out, I think. Lee also said, I love gold more. Yeah, I think we all do, really. GNS Metals said there is no comparison between gold and silver. When it comes to an investment, gold is on another level. Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. Abdul says green and gold. Don't know what you mean by that. Do you have any ideas, Stack Collector?
As in like green and red, green good, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. Abdul also said, if you both were to start from the beginning, what sort of gold coins would you buy and why? Very good question. I like questions like that. I'll pass it over to you, mate, first. If you could start again, knowing what you know now, what gold coins would you buy and why?
For me, it's not starting again. It's actually where I am right now. Because when it comes to gold, I'm in the starting blocks. I've got a few gold rings. I've got one numismatic gold coin, and but when it comes to owning gold coins, I'm very much a newbie. And I'll be honest with you, mate, you've got an option. For me, it's two choices really. For your average Joe out there, you've got your quarter ounce Britannia or your sovereign. And they've both got the benefits. They're both nice coins. One's an historic coin, but it's got a lower gold coin content to it. One's a more modern coin. The very modern ones don't necessarily look what you might expect a gold coin to look like. But they're both very nice coins, and I think that's your way to go if you can afford it. 1 ounce gold Britannias, absolutely. The higher you can go, the better, because of the save you're going to get in premiums.
Yeah, I would completely agree with Stack Collector there, word for word. Everything he said, in my opinion, was completely correct. So I will just replicate his comment there. So yeah, thank you for the question, Abdul. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it was a good question. Cider Salman said, if silver has a moment like in the 80s, for a short time, will you gain more returns in silver? The potential is there. £50 per ounce has been done before. Gold is a steady investment. I can't remember. The 80s is slightly before my time. Do you remember how it performed in the 80s, or do you know historically?
Not from memory being there, but I know what he means. Silver, it's gone up high. It's been high, a lot higher than it has been right now. Silver's nowhere near its all-time high, unlike gold. That's because silver in the past has been a lot more volatile than it has been for the last probably the last couple of decades. I don't think we're ever going to see times like that ever again. I think they're gone now. I think things have, the amount of change that would have to happen to see that kind of change in the price, it's big. So I think personally, I think we're going to see a more gradual increase in the price of silver going forward. I don't think you're going to ever see it really shoot the moon like it did in the 80s before.
Yeah, I'm looking at the graph of it now from about 1988 to 2023, and it looks at around 2008. That's when it had its serious spike, nearly hitting £30 an ounce, and then it's come back down, and now it's sitting for the last 5 years. It's sat at around £20 an ounce or just below. So I think you're right there. I think it's only going to go up. It will fluctuate, but whether it goes up a lot, I don't know. I hope so. I think so, but it's a difficult one. But yeah, good question from Cy there. Great questions coming in from all of you guys. Cobra Stacker said yes, but Cy, remember in the 80s, the reason it went so high was because of the two brothers who bought out of the market.
Yeah, it's very true. It's market manipulation, like what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, I suppose if there's someone with enough of a stack, like JP Morgan, or as Cobra is talking about these two brothers, then yeah, market manipulation. You're right. Stack Collector is definitely possible. GNF Metals, 20% of the 50 ounce. 20% of the 50 ounce you will not get back. So even if it does go up to 50 ounce, you will only get 40 ounce. I got an F in maths at school, so your figures take me a while to work out, especially on live stream. What do you think about that, Stack Collector?
What was it? I can't see the comment. What was it again?
He says GNS Metal says 20% of the 50 ounce you will not get back. So even if it does go up by 50 ounce, you will only get 40 ounce. I'm not quite sure. I can't figure out what I mean.
The maths is right there. I mean, if you take 50 ounce by to take away 20% of that, you're left with 40 ounce. Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not sure what the point is making there about the 20% of the ounce you will not get back. How so? Sorry. Not sure if he's put that in the comments later on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. Agent Charlie, not seen your name appear before, so thank you for hopping in the live stream and leaving your first comment. Do you have any tips for storing gold coins at home, places where you wouldn't expect gold to be? GNS Metals replied to Agent Charlie saying, store in the loft, maybe. Great question. I think we can give you some good answers, but we probably won't give you our own personal answers, because then that gives away some of our trade secrets where we might or might not store our valuables. But I'll pass it over to you, Stack Collector, first, mate.
Okay, so like that place where you think that, you know, that amazing hiding place you think of, then don't ever use that, because that's probably the same first place other people are going to look. You'll find that a lot of the times when, you know, when people look for the same kind of places to hide stuff, you know. So try and think out of the box. Always think, you know, what's unique in your own surroundings that you can work with. It's a very difficult one. You know, keep them at the bottom. I mean, it's anything I can say is going to become cliche. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be useless, because it's going to be the kind of place where people look. But under your socks, in your sock drawer, because, you know, that it's your sock drawer. But then again, people will hide things under the socks in the sock drawer. People will hide things under the mattress. So you know, it is. Yeah, it's a bit. You know, it's one of those things where you've got to look in your own surroundings. I've got a few places in my own house, and, you know, the places that I've come across myself, and normally when I'm doing a bit of work, and normally it's somewhere where you have to take something away to get at it, and something might have a void behind it, or something behind a big heavy bookshelf, something like that. But you know, storage wise, definitely have a safe, have a home safe. Whether or not you keep it as a dummy safe or you keep your stuff in there, that's up to you. But you know, a fireproof home safe is a definite minimum. Other than that, hiding it as best you can. But the best thing you can ever do is just make sure it's well insured in case anything does go wrong.
Good comments there from yourself, mate. I would just touch on that very briefly. I think a massive point would be make it as hard as possible for someone to get it. They might find it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to make it easy for them to get to. Now, you could do a deterrent safe, so you could have multiple safes, maybe one with very small value in it, maybe one with nothing in it. You could put that one in a more obvious place, bolt it down as if there was stuff in it, you know, maybe try and even kind of obscure it, but don't. So, you know, they waste their time on that. And the reason I say that it's a good idea to make it as difficult for people as possible is because the average burglar takes less than a minute to break into your home, and averagely they spend between 8 and 12 minutes to get in and out. So if you've got a deterrent safe, they're going to spend at least 8 to 12 minutes trying to break into that thing. They do it, they find out there's nothing in it. The chances are they're going to want to get out of there. So I would say that's the best advice I can give without giving away, you know, my own tips and tricks, because obviously you don't really want to do that. You have to use your initiative, but make it as difficult as possible. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely make it difficult. You want to keep them in your house as long as possible, because they're not going to want to be in your house, you know, as long as needed. You know, absolutely, make it hard to find, make it hard to get at. They're the best things you can do, really.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so moving on. Trying to get through some of these comments. Side of Sound Man said, yes, Cobra, anything can happen. My point is if it does already. Agent Charlie said, yeah, that's a good one. Side of Sound Man said, gold, you never have to worry about catching a peak. Very true, because the chances are it's always going to increase. You've heard me say it before, but I'm going to say it again. A good way to predict the future is to look at the past. And the price of gold in the last 20 years has gone up over 500%. So that leads you to believe, what will it do in the future? Likelihood is it'll probably also keep going up. So that's what Sai is referring to by not worrying about catching a peak. GNS Metal said, if silver goes to 50, gold will be 10 times more its current value. Yeah, at the current state it is, gold is miles ahead of the weight to value compared to silver. GNS Metal said, gold is a store of wealth. Silver is cheap, so good for collective coins. Yeah, silver is a really cheap way of getting into bullion as an investment, but gold is definitely, in my opinion at least, the better store of wealth. We've read Cobra's comment. Side of Salmon says, oh, that's a fluffy dice one. We've read that. Cobra, sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate. I was just going to say, going on a little bit further on silver and investments. I just want to say, I just want to give my opinion on what the best kind of silver is to buy. If you want to see your money go up, and I think it's this stuff here. It's bullion, but your series bullion coins, because these things, they'll cost literally only pennies more than a standard bullion, and the scope for something like that to actually go up in value instead of a standard Britannia, I think you've just got a lot more chance for it. You know what I mean? Because generally we've got lower mintage figures, they're more sought after, and they cost about the same as a normal standard Britannia, just like that one right there.
Yeah, see, that's funny because as you'll know, I'm a weight stacker. I only stack for weight. The only times I don't is when I buy 1 ounce silver bars. So I should disagree with you, but I don't. I completely agree with you. You're right. They're only a penny or a quid more usually for these premium like pieces that have a bespoke design. And the upside of that getting more value is actually much more likely than a generic Britannia, because that's exactly what it is, a generic Britannia. So you're right. To pay that tiny bit more to give yourself the exact same weight and purity of silver, but you're adding a massive opportunity for collection desire to make it more valuable. Case in point, the Una and the Lion 1 ounce silver bars. They're probably one of the biggest bars out there that people want to get their hands on, which have increased in value. So yeah, I should disagree with you as a weight stacker, but I don't. I actually completely agree with you, which would make logical sense for me to stop becoming a weight stacker and start buying beautiful pieces like the one you just showed, the Merlin coin. It's just my OCD that doesn't allow me to pick and mix. But you're right.
The good thing is you can still be a weight stacker. Look at what Cobra's done recently by buying the tubes of the dragons. He's weight stacking, but he's targeting things, because I think the dragon bars are going to go the similar way to the Una and the lion bars. Really, they're very popular. The earlier years, the 18s, they'd be quite difficult to get hold of. They've got quite a premium to them already. So because they are standard bullion, you can still weight stack them. You can still buy 10 of the Merlin coins, or do you know what I mean? That's the best thing about them. You have the best of both worlds with them.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, you are right. Best of both worlds, and just like Cobra's done. Yeah, you're right. It's like music to my ears. What you're saying, I'm real. But yeah, completely. Great advice if there's any new investors watching the live stream that maybe are thinking about making their silver purchase. You're probably getting the most valuable information you could find on YouTube right now without watching 10-minute videos a time. So I'll definitely take note of some of this, because what the Stack Collector is coming out with tonight is unbeatable information for new investors for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. We've got some great guys in the comments, haven't we? Giving us some great ideas in the chat.
Yeah, very true. We've got Sai, GNS, Cobra, Darth Stacker, all really experienced investors. So thank you also for your advice. It helps us as we're going through the topic during the live stream. I like Cobra's comment saying, I wish Future Investments, laughing might bleep arse off BlackRock. He's definitely got a nice, good sense of humor and takes things the right way. Regarding our comments about him either being, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, or guarding him.
Is Dwayne the Rock Johnson is half the size of Cobra Stack.
Yeah, I would imagine so. The video of Cobra shooting the. Do you remember the video he put up of him shooting the weapons in Vegas? I think it was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's in the back of a helicopter with a 50 cal.
Yeah, I remember watching that, and he was shooting a minigun or a 50 cal in this shooting range. I did not expect the next clip for him to be in a bloody helicopter as if he was shouting in Vietnam, and he's firing a heavy machine gun out of a helicopter. When I saw that video, that was the moment that I went, this bloke right here has done very well for himself, because I think most people would be very pleased just to go to a shooting range. But there's obviously been an option where they've gone, right, who can afford to go up in a helicopter and shoot heavy assault weapons out of a moving helicopter with the door open? And I can just imagine Cobra putting his arm up, almost touching the ceiling, and going, "Yeah, I'll do it." So that was the video that made me go, "Holy shit, this guy's the real deal."
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love those videos. I think that, I think they're amazing. And he obviously has done some amazing things. I mean, just think about it. I mean, bodyguarding celebrities alone, you got to have some stories to tell just from doing that, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. He's obviously let some of us know let the community know that he does it, but he's definitely keeping some back. I'd love to get some real stories from him one day, because I bet he's got some bangers. Luke Springer said, between gold and silver, if you had to stack one, which would it be? What would that be for you, Stack Collector? I know you said you haven't got any gold yet and you're hoping to start, but
I mean, if I could only have one, I mean, I'd have to pick silver, because I just prefer silver. I like silver coins, and gold's great, but it's expensive, and it's really expensive. And I just like, I like the amount of what the value for money that you get with silver. It's great. It's inexpensive. 30 odd quid isn't a massive amount for a 1 ounce coin when you're looking at 1,600 odd quid for the gold version.
yeah, I think for me it would be gold, because I'm aware of its benefits. Having said that, silver for me is definitely a funner precious metal to buy.
Yeah.
I get much more fun, much more topic, much more content out of silver topics. And when you look at YouTubers and the precious metals channels, there's a reason why a lot more channels are called, for example, 365 Days of Silver or Silver Stacker. Do you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
not many called Gold Stacker or the Gold Collector. Do you know what I mean? So I think it goes to show that silver's the funner investment, but maybe gold is the better one, be it, for an actual asset. But yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I
question.
mean, but the difference between a stacker and an investor is, an investor is something who buys something to sell it, to buy it to sell it, and a stacker is someone who buys something, and you're not rushing to sell your stack, are you? Your stack is something that it's there just in, like, your stack is your emergency fund. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we talk about when the shit hits the fan, or this, that, or the other. That's what your stack's for. If if the money, if the dollar or the pound completely crumbles, and money's not worth anything anymore, that's when your stack comes in. Your stack isn't an investment like a normal investment. It's like what people invest with stocks and shares, because you generally tend to do that on a much shorter period of time, where a precious metal stack is something that you're not really ideally looking to. I buy so many bullion this month and sell so many that month, and then buy this month and sell that month, buy this month, sell that month. You're more buying more or less, as depending on the price. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. There's a slogan I really like, and it goes, gold is the currency of kings, silver is the currency of gentlemen, barter is the currency of peasants, but debt is the currency of slaves. Now, that could definitely rub a lot of people up the wrong way. And I know a lot of wealthy people like Robert Kiyosaki use debt towards their benefit. But if you look at the generic public, debt is not used towards their benefit. It's used as a negative, But saying barter is the currency of peasants is a bit cruel, because even if you're wealthy, you still can barter. But there's this quote I thought I'd throw in there. I find it quite interesting.
It's definitely a very interesting quote, and Robert Kiyosaki is definitely a very interesting guy. I mean, he's not somebody that I mean, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I tell everybody to read it, because the book is brilliant. It's got a lot of brilliant quotes in, but it's not necessarily an instruction manual to how you should live. And I don't think you know, what he does works for him. Is obviously a hell of a lot richer than I am. I mean, who am I to criticize what he does? But I don't think for the average man, his investment style is something that, you know, people really need to be getting into, especially with the whole debt is money concept. That's dangerous, and that's going to see most people just in crippling debt. You know, it's very difficult to actually make profit out of debt. It's possible, but it is very difficult. And you know, when you're investing in things, there's no guarantee you're ever going to make profit in the first instance. So if you fail to make profit on money you've borrowed, then you're doubling your loss.
Yeah, completely agree with you there, mate. Brilliant points. Loving the comments in the live chat. Sorry if we don't answer them all. Me and Stack Collector are kind of vibing tonight, seems like, and having a really good conversation. But we are reading them as we go along, and even if we're not vocally reading them out. On the topic of, you know, investments and stuff, the S&P 500 had a bit of I don't know if you saw, but recently it had a bit of a dip. For the first time in the first 5 months of my holding, it actually dipped below my investment amount, albeit by about 50p, and it went into the red for the first time in 5 months. Now, I think that's fantastic that it's only done that once in 5 months, and within a couple of hours of that time, it went back above what I've invested and has stayed above. And now it's coming back up to a more nicer point. It shows that there can be volatility in even low risk investments like the S&P 500, as it's considered a pretty low risk investment for a long term hold. But it just goes to show that nothing's for certain and things can happen. Now, me personally, it never rocked my faith, and it wouldn't rock my faith anyway, because I've accepted that that investment is allowed and okay if it hits rock bottom, because mentally that's what I've told myself, although I don't believe it will do so. So it doesn't worry me that it did have that small fluctuation. And you've got to consider, will you be worried about that when you've got much more of a significant amount of money, maybe in two decades from now, maybe 20,000-30,000 pounds? In my opinion, no, because I would have built that up so gradually over time that it's easy to compensate and regulate the thought of it going, because that's part of investing, it's part of a risk.
Yeah,
But how do you feel about it? And are
yeah.
you still happy to have that as an investment in your portfolio?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Because you won't even notice it in that period of time, mate. You won't even notice it. And the reason I say that is, you know, we're nowhere near as low as it was last October last year. You know, it's a lot higher than it was. And I was dollar cost average or pound cost averaging all the way through that. You know, I've seen over the last few years, I've seen some real crashes with the S&P, especially last year. You know, the tail end of the year before that, throughout last year, it was a huge crash. And I just kept buying through it. So I haven't even seen it go, mine go into the red at all. It's still in the green. It's just slightly less in the green than it was. Because, you know, when you dollar cost average something like the S&P 500 for long enough, even the dips, you've been in there for so much time. You know, you've dollar cost average, pound cost average it. You won't see your holdings go into the red just because it dips a little bit. So, you know, because I've been in it quite a bit longer than you have. It came down a little bit. I wasn't in as much profit as I had been before, but I was still in profit on it. So it's a great investment. It's really strong. It's brilliant for, you know, your long time retirement fund. That's what the S&P 500 is. That's, you know, that's what you put money in that to help it grow for when you're ready to sit back and relax for a bit.
Absolutely. And what's your end goal? I mean, as you just said, for retirement, but what's your end goal? Is it to liquidate it for an early retirement? Is it to liquidate it at the usual retirement age, but just use it as a investment to mean, you know, 100% that your retirement pot is going to be nice and healthy? Is there a end goal for you?
Yeah, the thing is, it's important to have a retirement pot. It's always important to have that. The thing about me is I never want to retire. I don't want to retire. That sounds hellishly boring to me. I have my own business. I don't work for somebody else. I work for myself. I want to see myself doing less and less in the business. But I still want to have some kind of active role. I still want to be looking into investing my money in one way or another, in passive investments. I'm a big believer in multiple sources of income as it is. So I never want to truly retire. I always want to be active in some way or another. So, the likelihood is, with my plan being what it is, I never actually want to have to touch that retirement fund, and maybe it'll be just something I leave when I'm gone. But I'd want to stay active and keep not because it's about the money, it's about me being active and doing something, and then not that's who I am. It's how I want to live. I don't enjoy the idea of not. I mean, what would you do when you retire? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's fair, mate, and I totally understand. Oh, sorry, Lee's just put, I'm off to sleep now. Thanks for joining, Lee, and hope you sleep well, mate, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Always an absolute pleasure to have you here, buddy. And you take care, pal. Get a good rest, and we'll see you soon, mate.
Yeah, take care, Lee. Yeah, I know what you're saying about never really wanting to stop, and I know a lot of people who have retired actually, and then they go on to have another job because they get bored, and I get that, and I'll be that person, I imagine, as well. But for me, my goal is to retire earlier than the national retirement age, hopefully by quite a bit. Now, saying that's easier than doing it, I'm totally aware of that. But if you don't set a goal, then how are you supposed to even aim for a target? Um, you know, I feel like this. I like the saying that it goes, "How big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?" So although it may seem ambitious, how big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail? Then that takes it to a whole other concept. But for me, I would like to retire early, use the S&P 500's amount that is accumulated over the next 20 to 25 years, as well as the gold and silver investment, and liquidate a lot depending on the value if there's enough there for me to retire on for the rest of my life, and just enjoy life, because you've been a grafter and a saver for a long time, and for the next few decades I know I'm going to be, and I feel like I will welcome no more investing at that point. I feel like, me personally, I will welcome completely shutting off mentally and just going and having fun as a retired person. So everyone's different, obviously, with their goals, their ambitions, and as we know, everything can change.
Yeah,
You're not guaranteed tomorrow, so I get that.
yeah, and I think people's idea about it definitely changes a lot with age and as you get older. I think when you're younger, when you're in your 20s, like you are yourself, the prospect of retirement is an amazing thing. And it's this thing you look forward to, this whole concept of no work, and it's amazing. But as you get older, you start actually looming, and that starts to become more apparent in front of you. You see it as more as well, I don't need to stop working. I'm not old. You see it as like
Yeah,
you're not allowing yourself to accept that
you're
I don't
getting
need to
old.
retire. I'm still young enough. I'm still and I think people's mentality towards it maybe changed a little bit because of that as we get older. So I don't know if that's anything to do with it. I know I definitely would have agreed more with you when I was younger myself. I definitely, hearing you say that brings back memories of of the dreams I had when I was younger. And it's definitely a lot different now. But yeah, I think you're right. I mean, when I say I don't ever want to retire, I certainly don't want to be grafting my arse off. In 10 years' time, I want to be taking a much more relaxed, laid-back approach to it, and having maybe more of a semi-retirement where I'm still doing enough to keep myself, just the amount I want to do, and that's that. And it's just just to keep me active and keep me entertained, and it's just the kind of person I am, I think.
Yeah, your comments resonate with me there. It definitely, there's periods of your life, and your mental capacity and mindset is different from someone who's 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. I feel like the desire for us all is to one day retire healthily. I agree with what you're saying. As you get older, it becomes more of a daunting factor because you know what is at the end of retirement, not something that we want. but it's part of life. But the desire of freedom, I think, is what we can all agree with. And it's a bit like gold, isn't it? The desire of gold is not for gold; it's for the means of freedom and benefit that it gives. And I think that's the same talking about S&P 500 and precious metals leading us into retirement. It's not the desire of the money that we're doing it for. It's the desire of the benefits and the freedoms that we get from it, because you're not going to get that from the government or from anyone else. You've got to make your own benefits, so.
Yeah, no, and yeah, absolutely, 100%. You can't rely on anybody in the world we have right now, unfortunately. And you've got to always make sure you look after yourself, and you secure your future. It's very important. If things are, I've been so many times in my life, things have been going so well, and I've been earning so much money, and especially when I was younger, and I never really looked down the line. I can remember when I was in my 20s. It wasn't until my late 20s that I actually even started paying into a pension when I was working in the office, and because I just, it was just so far away. It was like I couldn't really even comprehend it. I just didn't want to think about it. And now just the idea of not having something there, like, I mean, I don't have a pension now. I have a S&P 500 fund, but for me, it works in the same way. So I mean, I definitely recommend that somebody's got some form of kind of fun. I mean, workplace pension, the modern workplace pension is an amazing thing, especially if you've got a company that would make contributions alongside. Like, there's some companies out there that will match your contribution. So whatever you put in, they will put in completely free of charge, which doubles your investment. And then you've got the tax saving benefit through the pensions as well. So, I think pensions are a great thing. Going back onto retirement, as we were saying, I noticed Cobra said in the chat that he wants to semi-retire. He doesn't ever want to stop. He just wants to travel a bit. And I think you're right. I think it's a very different. You're looking at it from a very different perspective when you're working for yourself, like myself and Cobra do. When somebody is working for a company and they're say working 40 hours a week, set hours, even if it's 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, that's not freedom. You're told when you have to be at work, and you're told when you have to stop being at work. And I can absolutely understand people in that kind of situation. Retirement would be absolutely amazing, but if you do have the freedom to be able to work for yourself, it is a very different. I mean, I'm not rich. I have a very modest small business, but it does give me a lot of freedom of my time, which is absolutely brilliant, and it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said there, mate. I just want to shout out to Jim, because he said he's not going to be in the chat for long. He's just stopping by. Also, hi to Kieran Williams. Thanks for coming in. Jim's from Australia, and he said, "Good morning, all from Australia. Can't stay long, just saying good day. I'll make sure I catch up. All the best to you all." I absolutely love that we're connecting to people from Australia. I mean, that is awesome. I've been to Australia. I was lucky enough to go in 2008 for 3.5 weeks to Cairns, Tully, and Tully. I was actually on a TV show, which was on TV for 16 weeks every Sunday for an hour an episode. I can't tell anyone what it is, because obviously you guys are going to straight away look it up. You have to just take my word for it. But I was really lucky enough to win an opportunity to go to Australia. And as a kid, I was about 12 in 2008 and experienced that. But I can see Cobra is talking about whether they've got any cobras there, and Jim is saying we've definitely got some dangerous animals over in Australia. So yeah, I just thought I'd have to mention that, because it's wicked to me that we're live streaming to someone over in Australia in the morning over there. Mental.
Yeah, no, and all over the world. So Australia, Canada, the States. It's awesome to link with people all over. And I just want to say, hi Jim. It's great to see you here, mate. And thanks for stopping by. And I think the worst one in Australia? I think it's a fear snake, isn't it? That's the most poisonous one in Australia. You don't want to get bitten by a fear snake.
Is it called Fear, F-E-A-R, like fear.
Fierce, I think fierce name, which I don't think it's like a common name for it, but yeah, we've definitely got some very dangerous animals up down there.
Yeah, for sure. On the topic of countries, I guess we can slightly move it away for investments for the time being. We've been, after all, talking about it for an hour and 10 minutes, so gone by like very, very quickly. We've had so much fun, I think, talking about that. What countries have you been to, the Stack Collector? Talking about Australia, what would you be up for telling us if you've been to any countries at all, or what
Yeah,
ones have you been to?
yeah, I've been to a few countries. I've not travelled in a few years. I just haven't really had the time. I've been to Ireland. I don't know if that really counts, but I've been to loads of places: Spain, France, Canary Islands, Tenerife, etc. Throughout Europe. I've been to the States. I've been to Los Angeles, San Francisco. The best place I've ever been in my life, I would have to probably say, would be Maui, Hawaii. That was an
Wow.
experience. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's Hawaii's got to be amazing. Do you know what? I think early when we sort of started talking, I remember you saying that's where you learned to dive in
Yes.
Hawaii. Was that right?
Yes, that's correct. That's where I became qualified, a PADI qualified scuba diver. I actually had to. I did it on the holiday, and we were there for a few weeks. Thankfully, because a lot of that time was just me sat under a cabana at the beach while everyone else was having fun, just literally my head in a book, learning everything. I never knew anything about diving until I went on this holiday, and when I got the pack from the dive school, and my exam was kind of at the end of the week, and I had to learn everything about it in this 1 week, and it was like, I really want to enjoy this holiday, but I've got to do this. So it was yeah, an amazing experience, but it did take a little bit away from the holiday.
Yeah, that's amazing. Next question is, I'm petrified of sharks in the sea. When I went to Australia as a kid, I remember going in the sea. And when you're a child, you're a bit more
Yeah.
brave. But as an adult, when I go in the sea in the UK, which is very rare, but it does happen in peak summer, um, I am very, very like, I'll go out this far and then I'll kind of go, actually, no, I'll come in now because I worry about bloody great white coming and getting me. Now I know it's so unlikely. But I always think that in the ocean, there's no wall to actually physically stop a great white or a saltwater crocodile from Australia just getting lost and wandering over to a coast in the UK.
Well,
Um,
yeah,
I know
yeah.
there's climates and everything, but do you not worry about that when you're diving? Because I would be petrified about that.
Well, I think we found great whites like not far off the coast of the UK. Very, very rarely, because they travel all over the world. Great whites. They're migratory, I believe. We actually saw a shark while I was on a dive in Hawaii, because you get quite a few of them around there. It was it was around 6 foot. It was a white tip reef shark. Everyone had to get out of the water, but it was quite an experience. It was quite fun.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, the UK has seen some great whites. I can't give the location because it's kind of close to me, and obviously, I'm not going to relieve that information for obvious reasons. But there has been over the last few years great white sharks spotted on the shores of where I live in the UK, and also, like you say, a place around the UK. You've got places like I think Wales have a few quite regular spots, and some other common places where they're seen even more, up in Devon. Um, but it's a thing, isn't it? They used to say, oh, you won't get great white sharks over here because the water's too cold. But as we know, with global warming, the temperatures are rising. It seems to be each year there's new record temperatures, and I think that's the case with the ocean. And like you said, sharks are a migrating fish. So it's not unusual or unreasonable, in my opinion, to say why wouldn't sharks be more common over here in UK waters? Maybe not only because of temperature increases, making our waters here slightly warmer, but
Peter, I'm just going to
sorry, yeah.
interrupt you very quickly, mate, because I've just noticed in the comments Darth Stacker's on his way out, mate.
Yes. Could take care, Darth. Thanks for being in the live stream, mate. Appreciate your support, and As a fellow Star Wars fan, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you, Darth, mate. It's been great seeing you here, buddy. You take care of yourself, mate. Yeah, sorry about that, Future. What were you saying, buddy?
Thank you for that, mate. Yeah, not only talking about sharks migrating because of warmer temperatures here in the UK, making the waters more appealing to them. There's so many other factors of the cultural and nature of food and the food chain. Overfishing. Mammals and fish, they migrate to other areas where they find maybe more seals and stuff like that. So um, maybe it's not unreasonable to be in the sea in the UK and go, actually, maybe I'll come in a little bit because who knows what's out there. So,
I
yeah.
don't like. Yeah, I do not like swimming in the sea. I have far too much of a healthy respect for the power of the ocean, and it just terrifies me nowadays. I think I said it to you before. I don't know if I'm ever going to dive again. I don't know. I don't know. But it's yeah. I have such a healthy respect for the ocean now, and what we're just so out of our depth when we're in the water, and there's so many things in there that just the things we know of that want to kill us. But speaking of sharks, what I find is so much more interesting is, have you heard about all the shark attacks that you get inland in America?
No,
Yeah,
inland.
like in fresh water, like people getting killed in rivers in Florida, and hundreds of miles into America, and it's possible bull sharks.
That's mental. That's
Yeah,
mental.
yeah, no, they can. They come in through the ocean, and they can survive it in fresh water for a very long time. And yeah, there's reports of people like swimming in the rivers, and then all of a sudden we're getting killed by a bull shark.
Wow, yeah, that's mental. I mean, I find it fascinating that. Hi, Brian, welcome to the live stream. I find it fascinating that a bull shark can migrate from saltwater to freshwater, and that a saltwater crocodile can migrate to freshwater to saltwater.
Yeah,
From being a river animal from originally in freshwater. And it amazes me that has a great white shark ever been floating around in the ocean and gone, holy shit, that's a saltwater crocodile? Or is a saltwater crocodile been sort
possibly.
of, swiggling its way through the water and suddenly gone, fuck me, that's a great white shark? you know,
It's actually very, very possible because of I think the climates would match for the great white sharks. Yeah,
yeah.
I think the shark, where the saltwater crocs are, I think the sharks, there's a chance of the sharks passing them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. It's a
Yeah, but
fascinating
that's
topic.
interesting. I mean, how would that go down? That would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, what would win, a great white shark or a saltwater crocodile?
I'd
Um,
say I'd have to say saltwater crocodile. Have you ever heard of Gustav?
no, who's
Oh,
Gustav?
Gustav was an absolute unit, in complete legend. One of the biggest saltwater crocs ever recorded. I think he died recently, but people used to go on like river tours to go and see him, and he was missing one of his arms. And this crocodile was so big. I think it was something like 25 meters or something like that, but he was so big and so strong, and his hide was so thick. They tried to shoot him and kill him, and hit him and failed. And guess what they tried to shoot him with?
Christ, God knows, something powerful, I'm assuming.
Yeah, have a guess.
What date was it? What year was it this happened? Do you know?
Fairly recently, not ages and ages ago. Like I used to watch videos of Gustav on YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna say some assault rifle, maybe a AR-15 assault rifle.
Nah, RPG.
Shut up.
This crocodile had survived a hit from an RPG.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, it was immense. I mean, the thing was just quite terrifying. But yeah, he was. Yeah, if you ever get a chance, just like go on YouTube and look up clips for Gustav the crocodile.
Yeah, I've just quickly searched in what was the largest saltwater crocodile ever recorded, and it says the largest one ever officially measured was Lolong, who was a saltwater crocodile that measured 20 feet 3 inches long and weighed 2,370 pounds. Unfortunately, he died of congestive heart failure in February 2014. The largest crocodile alive is Cassius, who is over 100 years long. Oh, there you go. Is Gustav bigger than Lolong? While Lolong was probably bigger than Gustav, he wasn't the largest crocodile on record. Gustav was never measured. Gustav was never measured, but estimated to be around 6 meters and 1,000 kilograms. It was unbelievable. I've just seen a picture of him there. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, living dinosaur, mate. That thing was. And same with even bigger crocodiles than Gustav. I mean, I just used to. I knew of Gustav, and I used to like watching like videos of him.
Yeah, that's mental. Just go back to some of the comments. We can carry on with this topic. Brian's in the live stream. Hi, Brian. Jim Wem, welcome. Said the box jellyfish are the ones to worry about here in Queensland. Oh, interesting. I do believe that there are some jellyfish that never die. I think there's eternal jellyfish.
The immortal, yeah, it's the immortal jellyfish. They reproduce, and after reproducing, revert back to an infant, and then grow again from infancy. They are susceptible to disease and predators, but other than that, they have the potential to actually literally live forever.
Your knowledge is always amazing, mate, because as you told that, I had just clicked on do immortal jellyfish live forever? And it says theoretically, this process can go on indefinitely, effectively rendering the jellyfish biologically immortal, although in practice individuals still can die. So exactly what you've just said is on Google. So yeah, I don't even know why I'm Googling. I just need to ask you every time.
I love the immortal jellyfish. But also on the same lines, do you know that there's a snail that grows its own armor, like metal armor?
Really?
Yeah, no, there's a snail that it grows like and they live on the vents of like the vents on the seafloor where they have like really rich mineral deposits, and they're so rich in minerals they actually grow a metal shell.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. Super.
Nature is an incredible thing, isn't it?
It really is. It really is mind-boggling. It really is.
Just going back to the comments, Jim said in Australia you always travel with someone who's a slower swimmer, so it gives you a chance just in case. Side the Sound Man, one of the channel members, said on my honeymoon I was fishing in Barbados. Every time I think of Barbados, I think of Pirates of the Caribbean and Captain Barbados or whatever his name is. Barbosa, that's it. Thank you. See, you know this stuff. It's like you've got a book of knowledge somewhere there written down. On my honeymoon, I was fishing in Barbados on a boat. I hooked onto a wahoo kingfish. The biggest tiger shark came to the surface and took my fish. Scary as hell. I swam in that water 15 minutes prior. Crazy.
I love it. That is a story and a half, Si. But yeah, wow, that's because it happens. It happens. Like you'll see videos of fishermen just trying to get their catch into boat, and a whopping great shark will just come up and take it. And it has got to be terrifying. And to have been in that water 15 minutes prior to that happening, that's kind of incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to
Adrenaline is brown, mate.
Yeah, I'm not surprised after that. Financial tortoise.
Sorry, Future. Just going back to Jim. Jim, you were saying about box jellyfish who wants to worry about and going swimming and all that. Didn't you have a prime minister who went out for a swim and was never seen again? Like in Australia, I'm sure that's the thing. Yeah, I'm sure that one of the Australian prime ministers went out for a swim and was literally just never seen again.
Wow, I'm sure he will know about that, but I'm looking it up very quickly before. Australian Prime Minister went for a swim and never came back.
Yeah.
For a swim. I shouldn't laugh, really. I went for a swim and never came back. No, I can't see anything yet. Only about prime ministers who died in office, but I'm sure Jim will know about it. Being Australian. Cider Soundman said, "Top googling future investments." Yeah, thanks. I've got my laptop next to me, so I'm trying to beat the Stack Collector's knowledge quickly by searching it up. Act like it's my own knowledge. You see, that's where I get some of my slogans from. These gold slogans don't just come off the top of my head. I've had to Google them.
I love it.
But yeah, fascinating topics. I mean, this is just on Earth as well. Do you know what I mean? Like the ocean, we don't even. It's like the Amazon rainforest or the ocean. We've not even discovered all of it. Not even close.
No. I mean, the Amazon rainforest it's just there's so many lost cities in the Amazon rainforest. It's unreal. But we just, you could find a lost temple in the Amazon pretty easily, and you just Google map it, and you're pretty much looking for an overgrown pyramid. And you can kind of, if you have a look for long enough, you'll see places which are definitely worth looking. But the Amazon rainforest is so thick and overgrown, and it's so arduous and treacherous. We just can't get to discover them.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's fascinating when you think of that concept, and that's on Earth. They say the deepest part of the ocean is the Mariana Trench. Is it? Could there be a crack where the Earth, where it goes deeper? And not only that, the topic of unknown, like you said, the Amazon rainforest, lost cities, lost history of information, like you said, that place that burnt down, I believe it was in Rome or somewhere, with all the artifacts, and they said it put us back 1,000 years. That's just on Earth. When you think about space and the galaxies and galaxies and galaxies, and the fact that it's endless, or is it endless? I mean, it hurts my brain to start thinking that big, because it's so bloody scary of the vastness that the brain can't even mentally can't even you can't even really digest it. It's that insane.
Yeah, no, it is, and you're absolutely right. I mean, when you start thinking that far out of the box, it does really start to hurt your head. And but this is something I was.
Sorry, mate, just to interrupt. Sorry, buddy. Jim said he's got to shoot. He said, "Sorry, folks, I'm starting to lose phone reception now. I have to catch up later. Thanks for letting me drop in. All the best. Take care, Jim. Down under. Appreciate your time."
Yeah, awesome to have you here, Jim. You take care, mate, and good day, mate. That's
Sorry
my
about
best.
that.
That's my best Aussie impression. I do apologise.
But back to what you were saying. Sorry to interrupt there. Just wanted to
I mean, this is just something I was thinking about recently, and going on to talk about the universe and aliens, and do you know when you used to hear people, the story of ancient aliens, and they'd come to Earth, and people would think with regards to the reason they came to Earth was for our natural resources. That's just absolute BS. Why would anybody ever come to Earth for our natural resources?
Yeah, I do agree with that, because at the end of the day, if an alien species is advanced enough to get here untouched, unfazed, surely they're advanced enough to find a way of having a renewable, resource that they need. I don't know. They could be a fifth dimensional being or a fourth dimensional being, so maybe they don't even need resources. You know what I mean? So the topic of them coming here for our resources seems very, very unlikely.
I don't even mean like that, though. And even if they need resources, right? It made sense 10 years ago, but now we've discovered that there's comets out there made entirely of gold, made entirely of water, made entirely of iron. There's so much natural resources out there in space Nothing to do with Earth. They've got no reason to come to Earth for these scattered resources that we have. You know, you've got people like Elon Musk saying the future is mining space, because you've got these pretty much unlimited resources out there.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a great point, and I know what you're referring to about what Elon Musk has said. I've seen the similar quotes, and you know, it begs the question, doesn't it? If we were advanced enough to mine a comet that was completely made out of gold, what would that do to the price of gold? Because surely that would create more there'd be more than enough for the demand, which would then push the price down because everyone could get hold of it so easily.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you know, a comet size worth of gold must be ridiculous amounts of gold.
Yeah, but I do personally, I think it's the future when it comes to resources. I think, you know, because we all know that it'd be limited, you know, we have limited natural resources, but we are now looking. Oh, this is something I wanted to discuss with you, because I didn't really get a chance to discuss it with you when on your last live, because I mentioned the Orion mission, didn't I? And what were your thoughts on it? And what the Orion mission is, it's the Orion is the name of the next spaceship that they're going to go to the moon in, which is what they're doing right now. I can't remember the name of the missions; it's on the tip of my tongue. But yes, we are now finally going back to the moon, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yes, and you are right. It's very interesting. India just beat the Russians to landing their spacecraft on the moon, didn't they? The Russians crashed, and then literally, I think a week later, the Indian Space Agency made it happen. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. That was the last country I would have expected. One of the last countries expect to make it to the moon successfully. I didn't even know India had a space program. So bloody fair play to them for that.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they did it on less than the budget to make the film Interstellar. You know, the one with Matthew
Really?
McConaughey.
Wow.
Yeah. Their budget to get that onto the moon was less than the budget to make the movie Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey.
Wow.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's amazing.
Yeah, talk about now they're ones to ask about good investments because they clearly know what they're doing with their finances.
No, but I was just going to say, I think it also goes to the point about, you know, maybe we live in a world that's too over cautious, and you know, we put too many hurdles in front of ourselves, because you've got people like India who are doing it for less than it costs to make a movie, and you've got people in the 60s who went to the moon, and we're still trying to figure out how to get to the moon in 2023. And I think, you know, a lot of that is they were more prepared to take more risks in the 60s than we are now.
Yeah, 100% correct there, mate. Yeah. So just to jump in before we continue on this topic, so the Sound Man, one of the long-time channel members, said, "My darling friend, I have to depart. Have a great evening, all." Thanks for your time, the Sound Man. Appreciate your support as a channel member and love your comments and feedback. Thanks for being part of the live stream.
Yes, no, absolutely amazing having you here as always, Si. He's a great guy, and thank you very much for contributing along with the chat. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Just want to respond to Investing Tortoise. Hey guys, how much of your investments are in commodities? I'm aiming for 7% in gold and silver, but most of my investments are in stocks. Cobra's answered at 20%, and I bring that up because for me, commodities is, you know, 20% a good number to have in commodities. I definitely look more in stocks and shares. I think I was saying this to you recently, wasn't I, Future? But for me, when it comes to investments, long term is index funds and indices, and short terms is stocks and shares for me, as far as I'm concerned, with around 20% in commodities, which I do tend more to precious metals these days.
Yeah. I would say mine is about probably more than 20% in commodities. But as time goes on, my index funds and will be getting to a higher value that will be catching up with my commodity portfolio. So good question. In fact, I'm reading a book at the minute by Andrew Craig, How to Own the World, recommended to me by 365, and he's actually on the topic of commodities right now. So very interesting that Investing Tortoise happened to bring that up, and it's definitely not a question that I've ever really seen asked before. So very interesting.
Well, the great thing about commodities are your they're your security of wealth, because the idea of owning a commodity is you own a physical thing that will increase in value, because inflation, makes things go up in value and money come down in value. So that's the idea of owning commodity, whatever that commodity would be, whether it's gold, silver, diamond, oil, whatever. The way to get money out of commodities on a short-term period is investing in what are known as futures. And that's when you buy a commodity that's got an actual sale date. It's a real crate of beer, or a real barrel of oil, or a real ingot of gold that's sat on a pallet somewhere, and it's got a sale date of a certain date. You buy it before that date, and you can sell it at any point before it. But if it comes to that sale date, it sells on that date for what it sells for, and you make a profit or loss based on that. So, futures are the way to invest short term into commodities. Personally, I prefer to invest long term in commodities to see that that increase in value over time.
Yeah, great information there from yourself, Stack Collector. I'm actually learning recently more about commodities, as I said, from the book. You're obviously much more experienced with these things than I am. Investing Tortoise put LOL. I'm reading that book as well right now. I've almost finished it. That's why I've just started buying gold and silver. Yeah, it's a great book. I do recommend it for anyone who wants to better their financial intelligence. It's very, very high on information. It's quite easy to read. It's not a hard read by any means. It's actually quite enjoyable. Cobra Stacker says, going back to the space topic, which I'm very happy to talk about because it's so riveting in terms of the topic. He said, India has had its space agency running since 1969, one of the 6 main ones of the world. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's short for ISRO. That's amazing. I didn't know that. That's very impressive.
Yeah, no, yeah, they have one of it, because I think we've quite regularly got someone up on the ISO. But yeah, no, yeah, India's got a space agency. There's quite a few space agencies out there. We've even got a space agency as small as it is.
Yes, I only heard about this recently because I had been adamant that England didn't have one. But it came up.
It's 3 guys with a pack of fireworks on a hill somewhere.
Yeah.
Pretty much is. Our space agency is a few guys, and yeah, it's a bit laughable really, but we do actually have a space agency.
There's actually a chap. I'm gonna find out his name, but he is from the UK, and he actually made it to the International Space Station.
Yes, Tim.
That's right, Tim Martin or something.
Yeah, so it's definitely Tim something. But yeah, he was on the ISO, and yeah, I remember him being up there and answering questions and stuff like that.
Pretty interesting, like you say, when we've got a Tim Peake.
Tim Peake, was it?
Yeah, pretty interesting that he made it when we haven't even got really a space agency like NASA or something like that. But no, fair play to India for making it to the moon. I mean, like you said earlier, us starting to venture back to the moon is a really exciting topic. I think it's really innovative as well, and I like that we're broadening our horizons and trying to see the possibilities again of what's out there. I think that's fascinating.
Well, I mean, have you seen all the conspiracies about the moon?
I've seen the conspiracies about the moon landing, but that's the only conspiracies regarding that topic I've known about.
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies about they did go to the moon, and they found something on the moon, and that's why they stopped. Well, they stopped telling us they went to the moon. There's one conspiracy about there's a on the dark side of the moon. There's a crashed alien spacecraft.
Oh wow! Okay.
But apparently there's like loads of like there's photos of like loads of structures that are being like found on the dark side of the moon and stuff like that. But yeah, loads of conspiracy about it. Again, I'm not necessarily saying I believe them, but I definitely find it very interesting listening to them.
Yeah, man, I want to find out if aliens are real so bad.
I've just seen Cobra's just said dark side of the moon, yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of Buzz Aldrin openly said about what he saw. Yeah, I've not seen where he's openly said about it, but what I will say, if anyone hasn't seen it, watch the press release they do after they come back, and that's weird, man. That's you know they're hiding something, they're holding something back, they're not telling us. You know, all I can say is what you've got is the body language and the expressions on the face. But you've got to watch it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that up on YouTube later. Just searching up now, alien spacecraft on the dark side of the moon, because I want to see what topic that brings up. Yeah, not much come up. I'm not going to spend time looking at that, but yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth looking into. And say it's conspiracy corner stuff. Definitely don't, you know, no bones about it. But it's definitely interesting.
It's interesting that you know, Russia tried to make it as well, didn't they? But obviously India beat them to it. Obviously Russia's got a lot of things going on at the moment. I don't know how much you're into it, but I'm really into history and the war side of things, so I'm quite up to date on the Russian situation. Do you know about the current thing with Wagner, whatever, however you pronounce them, marching to Moscow again on a civil war?
Yeah, the Wagner insurgency, as it were, they're mutiny, aren't they? Mutinying against them, aren't they? And to be honest with you, they've been given too much power. You know, the Wagner Group, they were used pretty much as a branch of the Russian military, but they weren't. They were a private mercenary organization, one of the largest in the world, and large enough to actually. You know, have a bit of sway. So it's definitely interesting. He's definitely lost a very, very powerful ally, at least, not having the Wagner Group on his side.
Yeah, I mean, whatever side of the war you're on, be it Ukraine's or Russia's, there was no denying that when the Wagner Group was fighting for Russia on behalf of Russia as a private mercenary group, some of the greatest achievements on the battlefield were made by that Wagner Group. So it's a massive loss to Putin by losing them as an ally, and supposedly, therefore, now. Pozetkin, or whatever his name is, the leader of the Wagner Group, has been killed in that plane crash. Presumably, assumes that it's the Russia's government have done that. Hence why the Wagner Group are now marching with their military through the streets of Russia right now, pretty much on a civil war, trying to march directly to Moscow. And there is footage of the Russian army going out to fight them back, and it's pretty mental that this is happening in the world right now. Not only was it a shock in February 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine, you know, war in Central Europe, full on invasion, but now there's civil war between a mercenary group that was Russia's ally, yet now they're trying to take over the government of Russia and go straight to Moscow. I mean, it's a developing story. And of course, there's a lot of lies and truths in between the media. But nonetheless, very, very interesting topic right now.
Yeah, no, just want to say very quickly bye to Brian. Great having you here, buddy. You take care of yourself, mate. Brian's just let us know that he's on his way out.
Oh, take care, Brian. Thank you for being here in the live stream. We've been on for pretty much 2 hours, so appreciate your support so far.
Definitely. And going back to the Russia thing, right? Okay, this is actually quite bad because This, like, if anything's going to push Putin into pressing the nuclear button, it's the kind of situation he's in right now. Whereas not only is he fighting an external war with Ukraine, which maybe he doesn't even want to be fighting it at this point, but he can't back down now because it would make him look weak, and he knows that. He knows that. So, he had such a show of force. For him to lose to Ukraine now would be so humiliating to him. He would lose everything. So not only is he fighting a war on an external front, which he's stuck into, but now he's also fighting a war on the streets where he's got his own people fighting against each other. So that's not only you've got people against you outside, you've got people against you inside. This is where people get desperate enough to start pressing buttons like that. You know what I mean? So it's not a good situation. I don't. Obviously, I'm not pro-Russia in the scenario because invading another country is just not the world we live in anymore. It's not. It's not done, is it? Who is he to invade another country? They're happily, living as Ukrainians. But my concern is that if anything's going to make him desperate enough to go nuclear, this is probably what it'll be as a last ditch attempt, because he sees the wolves at the door as it was now.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's pretty daunting, really. I know that Poland has massively put into their defense budget, and they've developed what's supposed to be one of the world's leading armies right now on paper because of their military budget that they've expanded, and rightly so. Throughout history, Poland has been, the doorstep for every invasion of
Yeah.
World War II and III and one, and and it's no secret that Russia would probably like to have Poland for their own, or Belarus, and there's a lot of that going on right now. Poland is sending a lot of their force to the border of Belarus and all that. So yeah, it's definitely an unfolding story, things to watch. And you're right, if the time was ever likely that the big button was going to get pressed, it's probably now. Which is a daunting thought, but yeah, it's crazy, really.
To be honest with you, the bigger threat, in my opinion, isn't Russia, Ukraine. I think it'll sizzle out eventually. To me, the bigger threat is the whole Taiwan situation.
Yes, that's the China wanting to invade Taiwan, is that?
Well, the China just basically saying Taiwan doesn't exist and refusing to accept that. No, that's China. We own it, but you don't, and they're their own country. And just because a few of your politicians escaped Taiwan, a few decades ago, and now they're saying that it is part of their land, it is quite jovial. And I don't know if you saw during the whole pandemic where the WHO, the WHO organization, wouldn't even admit Taiwan was a country. They never once even stated Taiwan as we won't even say the word Taiwan.
Wow. It's a sad state of affairs right now, isn't it?
Yeah, no, the entire world is a sad state of affairs. It's like you said just moments ago. War in Europe is it's the first time since the Second World War. There hasn't been war for inland in Europe since then, and it just goes to show we've forgotten how horrific war is. And it took a few generations, but I just think it's gone out of people's minds how horrific it was, because my grandparents fought in the war. So my parents and my parents' generation are people who grew up with parents who had been in the war and been affected firsthand. I'd sat on my granddad and my grandparents' knees and been told firsthand stories by people who were in the war, but those people are dying off now. And I just don't think people are afraid of war enough these days, because if a world war ever was to break out, especially with modern day weaponry, it would be so horrific. It's just unimaginable.
Yeah, you're right. It is very daunting. I think this is a little bit biased, but although the UK's military defence budget is small and we're not a British Empire anymore, you can go back to the beginning of World War II. We was definitely the leading power, especially on the seas. But now the UK is not what it once was in many ways. But going back to the defence, the army, the navy, our quality is still there, but the budget is not, so therefore our size is depleted. Having
No,
said that, sorry.
yeah, no, I was going to say the problem is the quality isn't there anymore, only because we don't have the quantity of it. Where individual troops, as an individual, are amongst the very best trained troops in the world. Our soldiers are amongst the very best soldiers in the world. There's a reason why our Marines are very often out there on deployment, doing training operations with the Americans and other countries. We do have very, very well trained troops, but we just, like you were saying about the budget, we were called basically a paper tiger, weren't we? We are a paper tiger in front of a storm, and it's because we're just not putting the budget into our military anymore. And I think part of the reason for that is because we're signed into NATO. And the whole idea of NATO is that there's one combined army there that would deal with things rather than individual armies having to deal with things. But I don't think we should always have our own, army there. We should rely on our army above other people's armies, because that is only an agreement, and an agreement is only on paper and can be walked away from at any point in time.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm a massive patriot, and I do believe that the UK has the best, if not one of the best, armies, navies, air forces in the entire world. It's just disappointing that our quantity is so small. However, having said that, I feel really confident being in the UK that we're well protected, even though our army, navy, and air force is small compared to other countries. The quality is so high. Like you say, we train most of the world's special forces. The Navy SEALs is based off of the SAS, which is the UK Special Forces. The world is, Australia takes their training from the British SAS. So our quality is the leading aspect. It's just the quantity size is disappointing. Having said that, I still feel very confident that an invasion would not go down well here because we are so well trained. The other benefit we've got is obviously we're completely surrounded by ocean. We're not, joined to the hip like Poland, Belarus, Ukraine, all those countries are in Europe. So
it could work against us, though. That could work against us in an invasion. Like if a landlocked country, you would possibly find it a lot harder to invade if you weren't one of the bordering countries on it. If you were a country that was, a bit away, it'd be quite hard to get to that country unless you could work out a deal with the bordering countries for your military to get through it. The fact that we've got waters all around us means boats can come up from anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah.
So there's things to think about. But then again, we have a great navy, and a boat couldn't get anywhere near the UK without us knowing about it. For a long time. That being said, there's submarines out there, but we've probably got American submarines right off of our coast checking what we're doing, and there's probably British submarines right off the American coast checking what they're doing, and all over the world, if you know what I mean. I'm just picking that as an example. Like there'll be Russian subs there and that kind of thing. But speaking about that, what was very interesting, do you remember that in America recently?
Sorry, mate, you broke up there. It lost connection, which was odd. Could you just repeat that?
Yeah, I was just saying, speaking of that, can you remember the spy balloon in the Chinese spy balloon over America?
Yes, not that long ago.
Crazy.
Yes, that was crazy. And the fact that they said it was a weather balloon, I mean, yeah, China are getting very brash, that's for sure.
Yeah. Why they didn't just shoot it down straight away, I don't know. Because we were telling people not to shoot at it and this, that, and the other, and and it was over America for quite some time.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I don't know why they didn't do that actually. Why they didn't shoot it down straight away. And then there was a lot of hush hush about it. But yeah, I don't know what they were planning on spying on, but
Yeah,
interesting for sure.
yeah. Well, I mean, we making Chinese are making moves, aren't they? I mean, this is the problem. Um, I think one of the issues you've got with China, because one of the reason I say this is like the Emperor of China has said himself that one of his main goals is to restore the golden days of the Chinese Empire. You know, that's that he said that himself. So, you know, that to me, I take that as saying that you want to have an empire again. You're not happy with just China. You want to now, you know, spread your empire outwards, which again is not doesn't happen nowadays. You know, we don't live in
Yeah.
that world anymore. It's not okay. You know what I mean? So um well, that's a big one. But yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of, you know, there's a lot of countries. We've talked about Russia, but there's also like there's North Korea, there's China. There's a lot of there's a lot of like very tense conflicts, and maybe not conflicts at this point, but you know, very tense situations out there in the world between a lot of countries. Look at America and North Korea for one. You know, it's certainly North Korea and South Korea, absolutely. But then you've got America, North Korea. They're always very high tensions between them. You know what I mean? And right now you've got the issues with China and Taiwan, and there's tension between China and Australia as well. There's a lot of tension between China and Australia. There's a lot of you know, issues there as well. So there's, you know, there's a lot of, if you look into it, there is a lot of tension all over the world right now, and the concept of a world war isn't absolutely beyond possibility.
No, you're right, and I think that probably lends to the topic of having a bug out bag. It's
Yeah,
probably more prominent than ever to consider having a bug out bag. You know, you've got all of these Americans who are massive on, you know, having a bug out bag, having storage in their garage for SHTF situation.
yes,
People would have looked at them a few years ago as, you know, like, really, do you really need that? Isn't that a bit ridiculous? But now it's probably a time where it's not, and it's actually better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So I
yeah.
myself haven't got one, but as time goes on, I think more and more it wouldn't be a bad idea just to have one sitting there just in case.
Mate, we need to get you a bug out bag put together. No, absolutely. I mean, I think it's insane for someone not to have it, because I can just ream off so many reasons why you should have one. I mean, a mass coronal rejection from the sun, you know, puts us back into Stone Age, and you know, a flood, even just a flood, even just localized issues like a flood. You know, there's so many reasons. Like, I go out and get yourself 24 hours, or I would recommend actually 48 to 72 hours, but a minimum of 24 hours worth of MRE style meal packets. And MRE it's ration. It's like military rations. It stands for meals ready to eat, and they're basically boiling the bags. But they last for ages. You know, you can put them in a bag and forget about them for 5 to 10 years. Sorry, I just want to say catch you later to Investing Tortoise. He's let us know that he's on his way out quickly.
Oh, thank you, mate. Yeah, take care, investing tortoise. Great to see you for the first time in our live stream. Hope to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so as I was saying, get yourself, you know, a few like meals in the packets. You know, they come in little foil packets. You boil some water, put them in, and then, you know, pour it on into a dish, and that's it, ready to go. You know, get yourself a live straw, absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
And then you want, you know, some sort of like I'd recommend having like a space blanket, you know, a foil blanket in there as well. You know, and a knife, a multi-purpose knife, a roll of gaffer tape, because you won't believe how many times a roll of gaffer tape will come in useful. And just do a few other bits like that, mate. But I'd recommend having them, because you never know when it's just going to be a blackout, a power cut, you know, the freezer's gone, or your food in the freezer's ruined. You know, I was working in the insurance industry back in 2010 when we had a lot of flooding throughout Hull and also Boscastle down south, and there was, you know, in Hull it was awful, because, you know, people, their entire houses, you know, the entire bottom floor of the houses were just absolutely destroyed. We had nowhere to put them to live temporarily while we fix people's houses. We were literally giving people caravans to live in, because that's the only option we had. And same as say, that was just a localized problem because of weather. You know, it could be a flood, it could be a lot of things. And you know, it may not be the end of times. It may not be a complete SHTF, but it might be, you know, just a few days you've got to look after yourself. And to have that little bug out bag, you know, I think it's essential personally.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, things like I haven't even got my own bug out bag, but I would know roughly what to get. And another thing which is crucial would be to have a flint lighter, you know,
Yes.
because it's just a fantastic way of starting a fire, and
Yes.
you know, fire can keep you alive.
Yeah, I'm going to show you here. I made this myself. So this is my Galaxy smartwatch, but it's got paracord woven into the strap. Is I can undo that and it will unravel into just 2 long lengths of paracord. Right here, you've got a whistle. So say get attention, and the piece de resistance is it comes with a ferrocerium rod. So.
Wow, that's so cool.
But I've got a few of them. That's my little one, my little fun one. But I've got a proper size ferrocerium rod. They're definitely worthwhile getting. And then a little tinder box to keep with it in case you need to start fire. But I'll be honest with you, nowadays, there's a few of them knocking about.
Yeah, 100%.
With lighters, you know, it's just a job to, you know, just as well. And a few of them and a can of gas, and I'll do you for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, would you ever consider doing a video on your channel of a breakdown of your own bug out bag? I know it's not related to investments and collection, but I think it's a topic that does actually go well. Prepping, you could say, it coincides with stacking.
Well, yeah, it's like it goes back to what I was saying earlier, where stacking is kind of like the investment version of prepping, isn't it? It's like it's having some kind of financial fund there available when everything goes wrong, kind of thing. To me, you know, that's what I see stacking as. So yeah, I think I'd be more than happy to go through my bug out bag and go through that. That's no problem.
I'd love to see it personally. I could, you know, it'd be good to take some pieces of advice to create my own bug out bag, because in all seriousness, it is a bit of fun to create your own bug out bag. It's every bloke likes the idea of having all this sort of stuff. It's a blokey thing, isn't it? You don't get women really doing it like blokes, let's be honest, although there is women out there that will do it. But on the serious side of it, it's actually very, very smart, because like I said earlier, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and have it, you know. So it's one of those things that when the moment comes, you'll go, friggin' heck, I am glad that I did that.
Yeah, no, I live by my life by it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I absolutely do, and I'm one of those people make a laugh about it, where they'll say, you know, he'll have one. He's always got one of everything, and you know, it's kind of true. You know, in a lot of situations when people need something, it's like I've got the thing they need just randomly on me. It's like, well, it's better to have it, not need it, isn't it? You know what I mean? But yeah, and same as I say, when I first got into it, I was quite young. It was all about the fun side of it, and you know, the zombie apocalypse and all that kind of thing. But now, while I'm older, I see it a lot more seriously, and I see it as more as just a form of insurance. You know, where, you know, I've seen things where, you know, crap happens, and even if it's not permanent, even if it's just short term, it's really handy to have a bag there that's just, you know, just put away in the back of a cupboard somewhere where you can just grab it and go. And it's because the last thing you want to do is, you know, you might have all the things, you might think, well, I've got it all, but when it's an emergency and that alert's going out and you've got to get down to the local evac centre or whatever, you know, you want to make sure you're not running around, where's this, where's that, where have I put this, where have I put that. You want to just make sure it's one thing, you know where it is, you get it and go. That precious time can mean so much in an emergency.
Exactly. And you know, this topic, you could go, well, it's not, you know, how come the government doesn't, you know, give us the impression that it's, you know, we should have a bug out bag? you can argue that there is examples that we should have a bug out bag, because this year I was away in a car show called Jackfest up in Silverstone in the UK,
Very
and
nice.
everyone's phones at 3 p.m. started buzzing. And unbeknownst to me, it was a government test alert for a national emergency. It's a new thing they've brought out. I don't know if you saw it when it
Yeah,
happened.
when it hit everybody's phone.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, my point is, if the government sees it necessary to create a nationwide alert for probably, let's be honest, it's probably to do with some nuclear threat that we don't know about, and they're prepping us, or something along those lines. Um, that makes it another valid reason. If the government's gone to that extent to do that, they must know something we don't. So yes, it's a good idea to think about having a bug out bag.
Okay, so two things I want to speak to you about on that very quickly. And first one is, do you know about the Hawaii incident?
Hawaii? No, I don't.
Yeah, that recently the Hawaii nuclear alert incident. So there was a celebrity there. I want to say Keanu Reeves, but it might not be Keanu Reeves. But there was a celebrity there, and they had I want to say 7-minute warning, but it might not have been 7-minute warning. But they had the warning come out. A nuclear strike was inbound, and whoever the celebrity was, they walked to the beach and stood there looking out the ocean, waiting for it to happen. But it was a mistake. It was a genuine mistake, but it was they actually put an alert out in Hawaii telling people that there was a nuke on its way.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah. No, that's, and yeah. So the other thing was, speaking about, like, what do they know, and why are we acting this way now with the alert system? Another thing that's going back to space, another thing that's made me think of what do they know and why are they doing this now is all this effort that they're putting in right now to how to deflect a meteor.
Right. Okay.
There's a lot.
That's scary.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things going off right now, and a lot of combined effort along the throughout the world of how, because they recently did a test where they deflected a meteor. And it went actually better than they expected, and we were able to deflect it more than they thought they would. But it makes me stop and think, why? What do you know that we don't? Because is there something that's inbound? I don't know if you know, but within the last couple of years, we had a near miss event.
Right. Okay.
Where a world-ending meteorite skimmed us. Like cosmically, it passed between us and the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was so close to us, and it would have been, if it had have hit us, it would have been a world ender. So I don't know if it's just that's woken people up, or if I don't know, but I think it's good. I think it's a great idea that they're looking into it, and yes, I absolutely endorse us looking into technologies to protect our planet on a planetary scale, because something good, going back to it ties well into prepping, because so many things that could just happen just like that, and boom, the world turns upside down and everything is now over.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
They say Yellowstone's well overdue.
Yeah, they do, and they say that that's one of the volcanoes that if it went off, it would pretty much end the world, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, it would, as we know, humanity would go back to the Stone Age. Technology just wouldn't be there anymore. Like you'd have no civil enforcement anymore. You'd be every man for himself, proper Mad Max kind of scenario. And Yellowstone's not even the biggest volcano on the planet, not by a long way.
Wow.
So there are so many things that could literally just happen at any time that we don't know. And Yellowstone is so much more active nowadays. And it's shown a peak over the last year or so. And because the geysers, they have the geysers, don't they, that they shoot water up. Well, they're obviously fueled by volcanic pressure. That's what heats the water and makes it, shoot out the ground. And geysers that would maybe go off like once every 10 days or so are now going off like 10 times a day.
Yeah, that's mental. It's scary, really, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
in that situation, what are you going to do? You can't do anything, you know. But prepping yourself for a SHTF situation, you know, where it's man versus man, why not have a bug out bag? You know, if Yellowstone goes off, we're all buggered. You know, don't worry about the investments. But
the thing is, we are far enough from Yellowstone, so we're not going to be hurt by the initial impact. There would be like huge shockwaves and, you know, be tsunami. Now, depending where you were, you know, if you were coastal, you're not having a good day. But if you're somewhere inland high up, you might have a chance of, you know, not being taken out by the tidal floods. You're then looking at a nuclear winter because it's blown so much dust into the atmosphere that's so light, gravity is not able to pull it back into Earth's orbit for like a good 3 or 4 years. So, you know, your food source is getting scarce, and you know, that's the kind of thing you're looking at. So, you know, your bug out bag is only, the thing is about a bug out bag, it only ever, you know, gets you for a few days. You know, if it's something like that, you've got to rely on your own initiative to get you through it, because, you know, everything you know has now been taken away from you. You know, we have so many conveniences in the modern life. You know, it's hard to imagine the life without it.
yeah, 100%. It's a very interesting topic for sure, and it's definitely got me thinking about creating my own bug out bag for sure. Just going to some of the comments so we can touch on some of you guys leaving comments on these topics. Abdul Aslam said, "Great chat, very informative and good community. You should do this regularly." Thanks, guys. Thank you for the lovely comment, Abdul. We appreciate it. Cobra replied to Abdul saying they do it every Sunday, Aslam. GNS said, "Stack Collector, don't set your silver on fire doing that," earlier when you was playing with your flint.
I've got candles going off in the background, so I don't think the little sparks are the worst thing I've got going on.
Yeah. GNS said, "Cobra, are you going to be selling 2021 Dragon bars on your auction?" Cobra said, "Not a 2021. I'm waiting for some to come out, but I'm defo going to list some 2022 and 2023s."
Dropped it.
Oh, what did you drop?
Silver coin down, man. The 2021, I was picking it up to show everyone, and it's slipped down the back. I'll get it later. It's fine.
Oh no.
I was just going to say. Sorry, I was just going to say, because the 2021 is my favourite. I like it the best. It's you know, it's kind of similar to the 22, but yeah, no, I think the 21's my favourite so far. But I haven't seen the 2020 yet. I'm still looking forward to seeing that.
Could you do the close-up with the 2021 just so we can see what it looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just.
Oh God, sorry, I didn't mean for you to mess up your backdrops.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I mean, my second favourite would be the 2022. And yeah. They've got similar kind of vibes going on, but I just think that 2021 just looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that is stunning.
Yeah.
The Perth Mint really are bringing out some absolute bangers with these. I feel like there was a bit of a lull in the market for silver bars right now.
Yeah.
You know, they've capitalised on that, and you know what? Fair play to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know who's fast becoming my favourite? The Nui Mint.
I've not heard of the Nui Mint. Who's that then?
The Nui Mint. So Nui's a little small island off of New Zealand, and they have a small amount of independence, but we are fundamentally governed by New Zealand. It's kind of like an England-Scotland kind of deal. And okay. I've got a couple of pieces myself, but they do some incredible pieces. So my Robin Hood, this is I got one of these for 365 Days of Silver. And it was so cool because I couldn't get it, obviously with him not having a PO box at the time, I couldn't get it out to him myself. So I sent him some money across and said, "Here you go, mate, just get you an ounce of silver." And he got one of these, and I loved it so much. I said to him, "Where'd you get it from?" And I got one for myself, and that's a Nui coin,
wow.
NIUE. And this one I recently got off Cobra, the Precious, the Lord of the Rings coin. That is also a Nui coin as well. And yeah, they've got, you know, the Perth Mint is absolutely amazing, and it is definitely becoming one of my favorites. But so is the Nui, and it's I just love it because it's one of the small guys.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to check out the Nui Mint because that Lord of the Rings coin and the first coin is utterly stunning.
Yeah. So sorry, I do believe that the Nui coins are minted by the New Zealand Mint. So I should have mentioned that. But yeah, the stuff that is being produced for Nui, because it's their official coin. Yeah, I just think it's incredible.
I'm surprised that the Perth Dragon bars that we've got on camera here, I'm surprised that they don't carry a bigger premium because obviously they're minted in Perth, Australia. Then they've got to travel all the way here, then resold by resellers or bullion dealers. I would think that that would carry a premium because of the delivery and this distance they have to be traveled. But really, they're completely reasonable in my opinion. And I know we got a really good price from Cobra, but when you look online, you know, on eBay and stuff like that, they do tend to have a really fair price, which surprises me because I thought, as I say, coming from Australia, I feel like they would carry more premiums than they do.
Yeah, no, I some of the 2018, the earlier ones do have a little, they do have more of a premium. I think it's a case of watch for space because there's only so many of them, and when we've ended up into collections, that's when you're going to see the premium go up.
Yeah, I wonder what the minting numbers are on them per year bar.
Yeah, I'm not sure myself entirely. I will have to definitely look into that. I don't know if it's like because obviously the standard bullion for Australia is a kangaroo, isn't it? But then you get the you get all kinds of different coins. Like you've got the koala coins, you've got the Cobras, which I've got my first one here from the Cobra auction. You've got the Quackers. So yeah, I'd be very interested myself to find out what the mintage numbers are on the Dragon bars.
Yeah, I'm just having a little research. It says 500,000 of the 2019 1 ounce silver dragon bars were made on Shard's website.
There you go. That's half a mil, so that's not many.
Yeah, it's not really, is it? I mean,
No, it's
you
not.
think each stacker normally has multiples of the same thing, don't they? So you could probably half that number again by collectors.
Yeah, yeah. I say anything less than a million's low mintage.
Yeah, I think that's fair, definitely. You're right, and when they become when they stop being minted, like you know the 2019, 2018, the premiums go up, and I think that will happen to the 2021, 2022, and 2023 pieces because they're clearly desirable.
Yeah,
All of us seem to be wanting them in the YouTube community at the minute, and they're still pretty available within reason. So,
yeah,
like you
yeah.
mentioned earlier, these coins that have these bespoke designs, they could be the ones to really buy to make more money on.
Absolutely. The Dragon coin bars are my top pick at the moment. They are my hot pick. They, you know, get them now while you can. I see good things happening with them. I see that premium shooting up when they become less and less available. They're great coins. Everybody loves them. They're beautiful things. They're a bit different because they're a coin but bar at the same time. You know, it's and yeah, I recommend people to pick them up if they can, because I can see definitely an underlying vibes with them. I see them, you know, going a similar way as the underlying bar has done.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some good information in the comments right now. Cobra's GNS Metal said the 2023 is only minted to 250,000.
Yeah,
If that's true, that's really low mintage.
yeah,
Wow, I wouldn't have expected that. That's really cool. Cobra Stacker said 2018's mintage was also half a mil. And Cobra said 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 are all at 250,000. So all really low mintage. It seems like
Yeah. To put it into perspective, you're aware of the Kew Gardens coin.
yes.
That had a mintage figure of 200,000.
Wow. Okay. And how rare is that? People can't get hold of them.
Yeah, and how much of it? And that's a non-silver coin that will sell for a hell of a lot more than silver.
Yeah.
Just
Very
because how
interesting.
rare it is. So yeah, with mintage figures like that, I definitely see them. The Gold 2023 has 8888. I like that because the 8888, it's a very significant number in Chinese mythology, isn't it? In folklore, it's a very lucky number for them, isn't it? Eights.
Wow, I didn't know that, but the fact that they've only minted 8,888 of the 1 ounce gold dragon coins, that the one that I unboxed recently, that is very low mintage. I mean, I know gold is much more expensive, but that is very, very low.
Yeah, no, it is, and I think he's on to a winner with that one because I know Cobra's actually got one for himself, hasn't he? Which yeah, and we had a very poorly Cobra review on that one. Unfortunately, it's great to see he's doing a bit better now.
Yeah, he was ill, dreaded COVID, I believe that was.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
But I'm sure he'll be ready to rock in his live stream next Sunday for the auction.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any holding him back.
Is there any particular pieces you're looking out for that you're hoping Cobra might put on his auction?
Oh, I mean, he's got so many pieces. Absolutely. I might be auctioning a few pieces off myself, by the way.
Oh, okay. Is it going to be numismatic or bullion?
I believe bullion, and I say that because I'm it's something I'm looking to sell on behalf of somebody, and somebody who's followed my channel for quite some time, and you may be aware of the great Jamie Frost.
Yes, in Japan.
Yes, that's the guy, and yeah, he's asked me to auction a couple of his pieces off. So I'll be getting them on the channel this week, so people can have a look at them and see what they are. And just give me a minute, mate, because my phone's just about to die. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Got my charger in. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So there may be a couple of pieces up by myself. I'm not entirely sure yet, Cobra. I've got it in an envelope right now, but I've not opened it yet. So I've got to open it and have a look on the channel and share it with yourself, mate, before we get it on. But yes, I'll definitely have a chat with you about that before Sunday, buddy. It's all right.
Yeah.
Cobra was asking what they were in the. I mean, I can. Shall we find out?
I was going to ask you. I thought I didn't want to pry, but I was going to say, why don't we do a cheeky reveal? I'm sure Jamie won't mind because it's a bit of promotion before the coins go live. It might even help the auction.
No, he said to me, just not to, he hasn't packaged it like he normally does with the other coins. So it's I'm sure it's absolutely fine. So let's have a look.
Awesome.
Right, so we've got a Gibraltar 2021 Justice coin. So I'm just going to just get it out of the packaging. Maybe it's 2 seconds. Sorry.
Yeah, perfect. While you're doing that, I will just say that I'm hoping to pick up probably 2 dragon bars from Cobra, either in the auction or out of the auction. I don't mind which way I have to do it, but I'd like to buy more, but really don't know if my funds allow for that. But we'll see. Maybe I'll treat myself and get some more, but more than 2. But you never know. Something else might come up in the auction that might take my fancy even more. Maybe a maple or something like that. I don't know if I did see any maples in Cobra Stack, but I'm just speculating there, speculating to accumulate.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Cobra's just said, I will sort you out, Future Investments. He's a nice bloke.
I've got a guy, and that guy's Cobra.
So
right,
how are you getting on with unboxing those pieces?
Yeah, I've just popped some gloves on because I want to get it out of it. It's in a little packet right here. So perhaps we'll open the packet first before putting the gloves on, but I'm sure. Here we go. I've got it. There we go. So let's have a look. So it's a 2021 Gibraltar £1 coin, 1 troy ounce, 999 fine silver.
Stunning.
It's quite a lovely coin, that is, isn't it?
Yeah, I've not seen that before. I've got to be honest with you.
It's quite a nice coin. So Cobra said we have maples. We have maples, so I think there's a good chance we might see a maple on the Sunday auction. So yes, I will look into that and just make sure everything's all good. And we'll be looking. Hopefully, if Cobra's all good with it, I'll be putting that on the auction.
Awesome. That would be interesting to see if that gets bid on. I mean, it's a very pretty coin. Looks pretty good condition. So interesting to
Let's
have
do a
that on the
live test. We'll I'll put it in the back of the bag. So we'll do a magnet test live. Yeah, that looks good to me. That does, mate.
Yeah. Nice slide.
Yeah. Oh, so far so good. I might give it a quick ping, but I think that looks perfectly good to me. But yeah, a very lovely coin. I'll definitely get a video on, probably a short on the channel, just so people can see it in a little bit more detail. But a very lovely coin. I might have a little punt on it myself, actually.
Do you know what mint that would be minted at? Is that the Royal Mint, being Gibraltar, or
Gibraltar? I don't think Gibraltar is the Royal Mint, actually. It might be. It might be. I'd have to double check. I can't remember. I can't remember with Gibraltar. I think it might be the Royal Mint. Yeah. I'll double check and get back to you on that one, mate.
Yeah, no, awesome. Cobra said again. He said we have maples, of course, bro. Be interesting then to see some maples in the auction. It's always been some I've liked the idea of having. So yeah, might have to pick some of those up or try. Maybe someone else will outbid me. There's no guarantee, but I think this auction that Cobra's going to do next Sunday is going to get quite busy.
Hopefully so. Hopefully, because it's a great experience. I mean, everyone should come along, even if you don't want to bid. I mean, one thing I would say is, like, obviously there's no live chat while the bidding's going on, so the bids can be clearly identified. But it's great fun to just sit there and watch. I didn't take part in every single one of the auctions, but I still had a lot of fun watching them, and yeah, it was great. And the chatting between the auctions was so much fun. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the no chat while the auction bid is on is a very wise move because it allows for a clear and concise bid for the piece until it's sold.
Yeah, 100%. And he gives nice long pauses between counting the bids out. When it's going once, going twice, gone. He gives plenty of time for people because the chat can be a little bit slow, so he does allow for that. And it's not at the end of the day, it's mainly fun. It's mainly, Cobra's wanting to do this for fun. That's his motivation behind it. I've spoken to Cobra. He will say this in the chat himself. This is 100% supposed to be a fun thing, but at the same time, it's a serious auction and they are genuine serious bids. But no, I definitely can't recommend it enough. I had so much fun on the last one. I'm so honoured to be the co auctioneer on the next one. That's going to be so much fun, and I definitely can't wait to see you there in the chat yourself, Future. I know you missed the last one because I think you were out or something, weren't you? But next time you've got to be there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to set an alarm on my phone. Do you guys know what time you're going to be doing it on that Sunday for any of us who are watching now, if you don't want to miss it?
Cobra, I can't remember myself, but let us know in the comments, Cobra, what time it's going to be. I know it's just put absolutely just for a good laugh, and you can pick up some nice pieces, and you really can. It's it's a fun way to buy good places. I had bought from Cobra beforehand, so I had no issues buying through the auction. I can definitely vouch for 4 of the 5 Dragon Bars right there, the Kookaburra and the Lord of the Ring coin, have all come from coins I purchased from Cobra. So yeah, I vouch for him 100% on that. And you can yourself, can't you? And he's just confirmed it's going to be 7:30.
Yeah, fantastic. That's a really good time because it allows people in the UK to get home from work, have a bit of dinner, chill out, get ready for the live stream once the kids have gone to bed. And then also it allows for people in the other side of the world, in the States, in Australia, etc., to be a decent time for them. So yeah, not really for the guys in Australia because it'd be early morning, but yeah, pretty much everywhere else it's a fantastic time. So yeah, oh yeah, it's a Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah. Coin show Saturday, Cobra auction Sunday. We might even pick something up at the coin show to auction. Who knows?
Yes, very good point. Welcome, KW, to the live stream.
Yes. Hey, KW.
If you've missed anything, if you've only just turned up, we've been talking S&P 500, gold and silver, the war in Ukraine and Russia, aliens, the ocean, saltwater crocodiles, great white sharks, everything from dragon bars to non-investments. One thing we haven't spoken about, which I really do want to speak about, and I'm not going to speak, I'm going to show you the Stack Collector, and I want to see if you can guess what I'm talking about. Are you ready?
Okay, go on. I can't see your hands too well.
What am I doing?
Is this your dance hand challenge?
Yeah. Wait, let me move it back. Hang on.
I thought I got away with that. Stop it.
Still very good, mate. I was transferred by it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Let me explain that. Okay. So Tuli, a few weeks back now, it's taken me some time. She was doing a video and the YouTube. Do you know the when you're waiting for somebody to go live music?
Oh yes, like in a lift.
Yes, yeah, like when the countdown comes on for the live, that music came on in the background, and she just started dancing with her hands, and then she challenged me and a few other people like my Silver Journey to do the dance hands challenge. My Silver Journey responded pretty quickly. It's taken me ages to do it. So Tuli, if you get a chance to watch this video, that one was for you. I have humiliated myself for you. I hope you're happy. But yeah, I completed the challenge, and it's gone. And Future's now completed it too. So there you go, Cobra. Cobra, we're both calling you out. We need to see you do the dance hands challenge in your next video, buddy.
To be fair, mate, in all jokes aside, I actually really enjoyed it. I was sitting in the bedroom and actually no, I was having a shower and I put your video on the sink, resting against the soap dispenser. So while I was having a shower, I could watch your video. And then I finished it in the bedroom while I was trying, and your hands came onto the dance, and I was sitting there and I was like, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know why, but it was quite good.
Oh no, I can't even watch it back. You know when it's something so cringy, it just makes you want to find a rock to climb on. So that's what that is for me. That's worse than the when I lost my bet to 365.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think the nails is worse. I would personally like to see more hand dance outros at the end of the Stack Collector videos myself.
Oh well, maybe if I get enough comments on the videos asking for them, then maybe.
GNS Metals has just said, Stack Collector, you should put nail polish on and do that. I don't think you should, but
no. Do you know that nail polish video is my most disliked video?
Is it really?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I want to say I'm not surprised, but I am also surprised because it is 2023 and I don't know how that would go. But obviously we know which way it's gone now. But
yeah, it was just
fair play for you for honouring that bet, though, mate. I mean, yeah, you're a man of your word there. KW just said, just wanted to say hello, guys. Got the kids for dinner. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for popping in, KW. Appreciate that. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Cheers for coming in, KW. And Ray's just popped in and said, I'm too late to the party. Yes, you have come in quite late, Ray. I think we've been on for, about 2.5 hours now?
Yeah, nearly 3 hours. We started at 8 o'clock, so 10 minutes will be about 3 hours. It's about 10 past 8, I think we went live. So one of the longest lives we've done for a while.
No, definitely.
Top yours and Cobra's live stream of about 10 hours, but still pretty good going.
Yeah, I think my longest live stream I've done up to is something like 6 hours.
That was with Cobra, wasn't it?
I think me and Cobra's done one that's been 5 hours. What's the longest I've done on my own channel? Just give me 1 second, I'll find out for you.
I'm just going to read some of the comments. GNS, you're not too late to the party, Ray. We're still going, albeit for a little while. You haven't missed much, but you can always rewatch it in the background like a podcast. GNS Metal said, I don't know if you can see the comment, but he put, but the rainbow icon guys loved it, but the Pride guys loved it. Yeah, I think the majority of precious metal stackers aren't Pride fans or Pride guys, hence probably the dislikes on this video.
Yeah, well, that's what you get when you bet against 365.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can tell how long we've been live, Ray, because when we started the live stream, I'm pretty sure that the Stack Collector candle in the background was higher than one of the buildings on the backdrop.
Yes, it was.
It's definitely shrunk down.
Yeah. No, the candle is definitely. I'm just hovering on the red line, and you're right. It was above the building line when we started. And it's now getting the water line. So yeah.
Rumor is that when the candle actually burns completely out, the Stack Collector's live stream automatically ends. The lighting goes off and the video cuts out. That's what I've heard, but we've never made it to that point yet.
That's as soon as the candle goes, that's it. I disappear until someone relights the magic candle.
Yeah. KW, see you later. KW. Ray said, I've got a job to stay awake for 6 hours these days, let alone do a live stream. Yeah, I know what you mean. The older I get, the more I want a nap every day.
Yeah. GNS Metals has put, I hope Cobra uses Wi-Fi on his next live stream and not mobile data. Yes, we've got to use the Wi-Fi upstairs. We had a bit of a problem. Like I said earlier, I had a few technical itches, and it turned out it was because he'd forgot to connect to the Wi-Fi, and he was on mobile data. But I think it'd be really good for mobile data. But yeah, as soon as he figured about the rest of it was absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's lucky. It's a learning progress, isn't it? Live streams. Dr. Jackal, howdy y'all from across the pond. I assume that's America. Let us know exactly, but awesome to see you here, Dr. Jackal. Cobra Stacker said, I promise I will, laughing my ass off, referring to data and Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I remember when you guys first did your live stream together, the very first one, and there was a few technical glitches, and it was back and forth for a while going, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? And it was quite sweet, really. It was funny. It was making me chuckle. But you guys have you nailed it now. So
yeah, and we got into even in that live, we got into a good routine where we all figured out what had happened and what was happening, and every time because his audio was cutting off, and I got quite good at telling him when that was happening, and I was able to say, "Oh, Cobra," and he realised he had to refresh something, and it sorted it out. So yeah, he's had a bit of bad luck when it comes to the old connection on some of the lives, but yeah, anything can happen live. They're very daunting. So he's done amazingly, and some of the lives he's done have just been absolutely incredible.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the communities. When I started nearly 3 years ago, there didn't seem to be this community. There was like the little guys just floating around, and then it was all about the big guys. At like 50,000 plus subs. I think now the community is more about the little guys. Around 500 to a couple of thousand subscribers up to like 365. It's really awesome to have and be part of this community. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, no, I think there's a community growing, but just it's not necessarily all the small channels, because there's some big channels in the community, like you say 365, but there's others too. And for myself, I'm one of the small guys, you know what I mean, and you make me feel just as welcome as everybody else, and it's just an amazing community to be part of, where like subscriber numbers are just irrelevant, really. It's just all a part of being in the community.
100%. Yep, I couldn't have said it better myself. The only thing the subscribers help for is, more consistent, higher rate of views.
Yeah,
But it doesn't mean that someone's more popular than the other, because you could argue that, you know, there's more loyal people to other smaller YouTubers than there are big YouTubers, and vice versa. So, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, and you know about the subscribers, you know, YouTube it's a lot of effort and it's a lot of work. It's very enjoyable and I love doing it, but it is a lot of effort and a lot of work. And you know, if you did fart and you didn't see and you got no views on your videos and your subscriber counts didn't go up at all, it gets very very difficult to put that effort in. So yeah, you know, you can say it's not about the subscriber count, but you know, getting that support from people, getting those subscribers from you know those subscribes, it does help motivate you because it shows that people like what you're doing, and that you know that can very often be enough just to keep you going. You know what I mean?
100%. Being a content creator is not easy. Um, to get to the point of being monetized, I remember me and 365 were doing it together, when we sort of became pals, and we were both not monetized. And it's hard because you're grinding away, you're punching content out every single day. Some of the videos do poorly, some of them do really well. And at that point, you're doing it for financially for nothing, you
Yeah,
know. Um, and to finally achieve that 1,000 subscriber, 4,000 watch hours in a 12-month period is such an achievement. There's a reason why they've made it difficult, because if it was easy, everyone would do it. Um, Now, the funny thing is, when you get to that point, you think, that's it now, it's going to be easy sailing from here. But it's
yeah,
far from the truth, because it's not, it doesn't run itself. And to grow the channel, you have to put in more and more effort. The more subscribers you get, the more your quality has to increase, because the more views you get, the more people expect, the more people rightly demand.
yeah,
So it's a never ending thing. And it is, people think, oh, they must make loads of money from us watching. And we really don't. Some of us make less than £100 a month, and when you work that out to the hours that you put into the channel, um, it financially isn't worth it. But we do it because it's what we enjoy. The side effect is that it's a little bonus that you get a few quid every now and then. But don't get me wrong, when you get big, like Two is One is, and
yeah.
they get like 10,000 views a video, he's making some good money. He's probably making enough that he doesn't need to have a full-time job. But up till that point, yeah, it's really difficult. So yeah, it's not always plain sailing as a content creator, for sure.
No, it's definitely not. And you know, making a video, I don't think people understand how many hours go into making a video. You know, when you put the editing, rendering, uploading, processing, when you add all that together, you know, it takes a lot of your time away. Um, and and filming, you know, filming a 10-minute video could be an hour's of worth of filming, you know, because the amount of
Exactly.
time you've got most of the way through it, you've slipped up, like, oh no, I've got to start again now, and you know, or you say something and it doesn't sound great, and you're like, oh well, I've got to do that again because I didn't like the way that sounded, and it can be quite ridiculous how long you know a short video can actually take to film.
Yeah, 100%. And then you, not only that, but you put all that effort in, for the video to not perform well. It can become quite deflating. So then you think, oh, why do I bother?
Yeah,
I spent 2 hours filming, editing, sometimes getting stressed doing it all, often stressed, because it doesn't go well. You've got other things you need to do in life, and then to upload the video and it does like 80 views. It's like, makes you go, sod this. I'm just going to become a consumer and watch the other content creators. But that's the difference between winners and losers. That's the point
it's
between giving up and pushing through. Consistency,
100%, 100%, mate, 100%. The only difference between a winner and a loser is a winner didn't quit.
Exactly. Consistency compounds, just like dollar cost averaging. It
Yeah.
compound interest, and that's the same with consistency, and that's what it's all about, mindset, you know. So yeah. But on that note, Jamio T, welcome to the live stream. It's 11 o'clock at night. We've been live streaming for nearly 3 hours. I think it's probably a good time to consider calling it a night. I know it's a bank holiday, but you're self-employed, so you've probably got work tomorrow, have you?
Yeah, I have. I've got quite a big job on tomorrow. I'm laying slabs tomorrow, so yeah, I need a bit of sleep. I can see. Ray's just said his nephew has a YouTube channel with nearly 3 million subscribers, and he's making a fair bob. But he started from nothing but a passion. No, if he's got 3 million subscribers, I mean that's amazing. That's hitting a jackpot on YouTube. So he's obviously done something right. I'd be interested to know what channel it is, Ray, if you don't mind sharing that with us. I'd love to check that out. I know you've been watching my videos for quite some time, and you very often join us in the live chats. But yeah, no, I'd be interested to know that. And he will be making a fair whack of money with 3 million subscribers. That's a very, very good channel, and fair play and congratulations to him, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd also be interested. He might not want to share, but if he does, that's great. His nephew's YouTube channel. But yeah, otherwise, I really enjoyed tonight's live stream. It's been a vast range of topics. The first hour, over an hour, was all about investments, which is right up my street. As you know, it's my passion. And it was a really good, fair discussion. He's just put it's called Promoting Sounds, and it's rap music.
Very well done. Very well done. That's amazing, because that's such a difficult genre to do well in, because there's so many people trying to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've just searched it up. It's got 2.97 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, might as well say 3 million, and you know what I mean. So yeah, that's incredible work. That really is. Very well done to him, mate. I mean, my channel will never ever reach anything like that. You know what I mean? This is nothing but a passion for me. It's a hobby. I love doing it, and that's what else what motivates me. I'm a very long shot away from being monetized, if I ever will do. But it's something that would be nice in the long run. I said to myself before I started YouTube that, because I've had channels in the past, and most channels don't do anything. We don't get no views, we get no subscribers, we don't get pushed out to anybody to watch them. And I said to myself, if I can get to 500 subscribers, that's enough for me to keep me going. It's as long as within a fairly reasonable amount of time, like say 6 months or so. If I can do that, then that's I'll keep going. And it's been about 6 months for me now, and well, yeah, probably 6 or 7 months, and I'm just shy of 500. So I'm perfectly happy. But I don't know if I'll ever hit monetization. It's not important to me, as long as being part of this community and getting to know people like yourself, 365 Days of Silver, Cranky Stacker, Cobra Stacker. It's been, and not just for creators, Lee Parola, Jamie Frost, and so many other people. Like, there's just too many to list. That's more than enough for me. Getting to know you people, it has been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I second that. It's been a pleasure tonight to spend so long live streaming with you, the Stack Collector, as always. I've really enjoyed tonight's topic. There's been some good discussions on everything, and also the live chat's been very busy. We've got 19 likes on this live stream, and had a really consistent amount of people. So thank you to everyone for spending your Sunday evening watching me and the Stack Collector. If you've watched all the way through, massive pat on the back for that. And yeah, big shout out to you guys for supporting us both and supporting everyone else in the community. Looking forward to Cobra's live stream on Sunday. Hope to see you all there. Me and the Stack Collector will be there. Stack Collector will be in that live stream, taking part with Cobra, so that's going to be very exciting. But yeah, I look forward to doing more live streams with you. We won't be doing one next Sunday because, as I say, Cobra will be doing one with the Stack Collector on Cobra's channel. But the one after that, we hopefully will be back on here doing another one. So yeah, big shout out to you guys. Big shout out to you, Stack Collector. Thank you for spending the time with me and talking about some really interesting topics with your knowledge. And yeah, I'll pass it over to you if you've got anything else you want to say. And as always, I'd like you to sign it off.
No, yeah, thank you very much, buddy. And it's been such a pleasure to be over here. It's always a huge pleasure to come over and chat with you. And I love the conversation we have. It's been an absolutely fun-packed conversation about precious metals, investments, and loads of other stuff, which is the way I like it personally. So it's been great hooking up with not only yourself but everybody who's come along in the chat to say hello. An absolute pleasure to have you all here with us all. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. With myself, with the channel next week, I've been picking up quite a bit of silver, so you're going to see quite a few unboxings coming going forwards. And then obviously I'm going to be meeting up with Cobra Stacker next Saturday at the Coin Fair in London. Look forward to seeing anybody who comes down there to meet us all there. And other than that, I'll be seeing you all live next Sunday at 7:30 over on Cobra Stacker's channel for his second live auction, where we'll be having an amazing time with a lot of fun, and a few of you will be hopefully picking up some silver at some amazing prices. So with that being the case, until next time, as always, look after each other, keep stacking, take care, and goodbye. Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.